Hello and welcome to another episode, in fact, a very special episode of the Underhive Lorekeepers podcast, the number one Necromunda lore podcast. I can't think of anything funny, so screw it. We're the number one Necromunda lore podcast. I am Spav. You know what? I don't actually think there is another one, so technically we are both the best and worst. Actually, it sounds horrible when you think about it that way. I am Spamuel, and to my right, the melodiously masturbating manvid himself,
No.
Nathan. How are you, buddy?
No.
Get it? Because you're always arguing with me?
Sorry. Wait.
You have a very sing-song voice. You're melodious, but you're always debating with me, like en masse. You're a mass debating manvid. How are you, buddy?
Oh, drained, amazingly. After like 30 seconds of the intro. I'll just give you a little bit of a precursor, folks. I was told, hey guys, I'm going to freestyle this intro. I was like, all right, sure. So me saying no is the first and only response I have to that intro. I hadn't heard it before. And I like how you said you can't think of anything funny. You've had one funny intro in 26 episodes. How many episodes have we done?
This will be 28.
28 episodes.
Yeah.
Does that include our patrons?
No.
Wow.
There's another 5 or 6.
6, I think.
So 30-something. I've made one funny joke in 30-something recordings.
Well, one funny, intro joke.
And it was really insulting.
It was.
People got quite annoyed.
It was really insulting. But
Yeah.
somehow you made it funny. It's just your charm and wit, we'll call it. But I will say one thing. I do want to say one thing. You ready?
Yes.
Happy birthday to
Day
you.
to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
I'm sure
Yeah.
we can't get sued for that.
We will get sued for that, and that's cool. We've had a great run. So, Scummers, today is, in fact, the 1-year anniversary of the first episode we put out of the Underhive Lorekeepers podcast. Now, we were about 25 minutes into recording the Cawdor episode, which we said was going to be the next episode. And we got an email from Spotify for podcasters saying, hey, happy birthday.
Yeah.
And so we stopped recording the Cawdor episode because we weren't going to record this for another couple of days. And we've just thought, let's just do it now. That's my, I don't have a birthday-themed M word, so I just like talking about how Nathan argues. But yes, we're not going to be negative like Nathan when he wants to argue with me about hilarious jokes that I make in every episode. We are all about positivity tonight.
Is that an electrician joke? I like that. That was good, mate.
Positivity, neutral, zap, screwdrivers.
Actually, do electricians, is it their favourite little lolly or candy for the Americans? Is it Zappos?
I think we're the only country in the world that has Zappos.
Do you like Zappos?
I actually prefer gummy bears. You know this.
Actually, yeah, no. There's a horrible story with that.
Love gummy bears. But we're not here to talk about gummy bears.
Yeah.
We are here for the Ginormogantuanhypermegasodeiversary first birthday listener lore episode spectacular. I told you I'd make the name better.
Ditto.
And, I'm really glad I got that first time. This opening is going really strange places. Let's re-rail this train. Nathan, it's been a year.
Yes.
What the hell, dude?
Do you know, it's been a roller coaster, I'll put it that way. I think, initially we decided, one episode a month was the vibe that we wanted to go with.
Yeah.
And that failed horribly. As an advantage to everybody who listens, we decided to up it to 2 episodes a month, and then I do remember, my little flashbacks, folks. So just go with me down the rabbit hole a little bit. Carotid hole. So,
Thank you.
I do remember when we had a long episode and it was like 2 hours or something. And we were like, oh no, this is too long.
No one's going to listen to
Nobody
this.
will listen to this. We're going to chop it up into like 4 sections or something. And we did get some good advice to just be like, go for it, throw it out there and see what the community, the audience will make of it. And now that's definitely one of our shorter episodes. When you consider the Aranthian succession and the Goliath episode. And I'm sorry to ramble on. I've cut you off already. But I will say something about the Aranthian succession series that we did. That was a marathon of recording and a marathon of information. And everything was just excessive and long and quite stressful at times, but I did say this to you after we finished recording it, like about a month later. I kind of miss it as well because there was so much information to talk about. There was so much that we could just divulge, so much we could just pull apart and, have little ideas and concepts. And it was so broad ranging as well that we were able to talk about multiple different subjects. So that was definitely something that I thought would be quite taxing actually turned out to be a really like a high watermark point for us in the podcast. What about yourself? What are your reflections on this year?
Where did Timmy come from?
Your brain.
Where did it come from? It was
your inability to come up with a name. And you were just like, Timmy. And then you tried another name and you just stuck with Timmy. And then Timmy. And then Timmy. And then, Timmy Helmore was born.
And then Timmy the gang member, Timmy the gang member.
It's happening again.
It was just weird. Timmy came out of nowhere, and the number of times people are now just like, "Hey, man, you want to talk about Timmy?" It's like, no, I don't want to talk about Timmy. You know why? Because Timmy has become the only name I can genuinely think about because I don't.
And then
I don't know.
And then Lady Helmore's brother becomes Timmy as well, and that just sort of cemented the name in place. But so any other highlights that you had?
Honestly, probably, moving from that one episode a month, we were just like, oh yeah, cool. We put that first episode up, and we got 6 listens. Over a couple of days, and then I remember we hit 10 listens in a day, and we were just like, "This is the best!" And
high fives all around.
Yeah, and I remember the first time we hit 100 listens in a day, and the two of us were just like, I think that's what we sort of said. We need to move it into. An episode of every couple of weeks, and then we're doing an episode every fortnight for the main podcast. And I realized the other day, for the last month and a bit, we've done an episode a week.
Yeah.
So we're doing the Patreon episodes, we're doing the Hobby Diary episodes on Patreon as well.
Yep.
So we're actually doing an episode a week, and. Yeah, we've come a long way from, that 6 listens for the first episode over a couple of days, and it's insane, but it's insane.
Do you have the stats there, Samuel?
I do.
It feels like you want to talk about the stats.
Because, so we've been doing this for 52 weeks, right?
Yes. Yep, that's a year.
And we lost our minds when we hit 500 for that. Do you remember that week we hit 500 and we were just like,
yeah,
this is it, we've peaked.
We've peaked. That's it. Suck on that, Joe Rogan.
Yeah. That's right. Suck that, Joe Rogan. As of right now, so it is the 1st of July.
Yep.
We are on 53,076 listens.
Yeah, right. That's amazing.
So, even with those episodes where, those first couple of weeks, it was like we were getting a dozen listens or whatever. We've now done more than 1,000 listens, like retroactively, more than 1,000 listens a week for the entire year. Scummers, how have you been able to listen to us this much? I go through the stats every now and then, and I lose my mind. I don't let you know because I'm a very calm, cool, and collected individual.
That's it. Absolutely.
But we've got like a 90% retention rate. So for the number of people who have started the episode, 90% of them have finished the episode.
So you talk about people being able to, get through and listen to everything. Firstly, what I want to say in relation to that is thank you. Thank you all for listening. Thank you all for your feedback. Thank you all for your input when, we've thrown ideas out there. Thank you all for your corrections and any other interactions you have with us. Like, I know sometimes it can just kind of get washed away in the thank yous and the appreciation, but it does mean a lot to us, the interactions that we have, and we really appreciate all of it. And we really, I don't know, we get a buzz. I definitely get a buzz off it. Like, even if it's sending somebody some information that they're trying to track down from an episode we did. Just like, here you go. Oh, cool. You listen to that bit. You got engaged with that. Cool. Have this that you're looking for. So
mispronouncing Delark, whatever it is.
Well, I actually have something to say about that. This is, from Delark. House Delark was, episodes.
No, I can tell you, it was episode 9.
9, was it?
Yeah.
Episode 9, right. And from that moment, the, let's say interaction, we won't call it what it really was, but the interactions we had were greatly increased, we'll put it that way.
But the thing that got me is when I would be on other forums or other pages and people were arguing it. The moment I saw the word deliquation used in the wild, I knew that we'd sort of, I say we, this is obviously you. I knew we had sort of brought something to the community. Actually, no, I take that back. You want to know what it was? You want to know that the thing that made me realise that we've started having an effect on the community?
Yeah, go on.
It is when people started making the cult of the bolt.
Yes.
Remember, the number of times there are some faction of the cult of the bot, and you just started seeing them, and I was tagging you and be like, they're making your idea.
Yeah.
And that was the point where I was just like, this is amazing. I could have died then, and I would have just been like, yeah, man, the effect we've had is pretty rad. I'm happy with it.
Yeah. And I think Simon on Instagram.
Shimon.
I was his cult of the bolt is actually inspiring to me. I look at that and I'm like, I have to make a cult of the bolt just in homage to what he's doing, So that was.
It's weird you say that because every time I look at his cult of the bolt, I hate them because I'm just like, the dude's just so freaking talented.
Yeah, he is.
How is he making the thing in our brain better than you?
Bolter on a shield, and it just somehow looked like perfect, amazing. But look, I guess we better say something about this episode. We are going to talk a lot about ourselves. Just bear with us, folks. Let us just become a bit nostalgic about our time doing the podcast, and hopefully you guys get something out of it as well. But the impact on the community. Oh, that's what I was saying. Sorry, had a little a vanishing away from the point of what we were talking about. The pronunciation of House Delark, House Thankyou, House Delacroix. Now,
the lake. I saw Delake. Someone said Delake, and
Delake.
I'm not going to lie, I was angry at my computer.
Yeah. There was also we mentioned it in a couple of episodes ago, Dilaquay or something like that. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. So there's a lot of pronunciations, but I will say I have it on good authority that the pronunciation of the word as Delacroix is actually the High Gothic version of it. And I have that on good authority from the warp demons inside my head saying, don't listen to the haters, Nath. They don't understand that you are the truth.
So what you're saying is quite possibly that you speak glorious High Gothic,
yes,
and our listeners speak like peasant common Gothic, including myself. So you're calling myself, your beloved co-host, and all of our listeners filthy like dirt grub peasants.
You're just... something.
Yes, I understand. I'm putting words in your mouth because I speak that low Gothic. I don't speak your like highfalutin High Gothic.
Yeah. So what was your favourite part of the show?
That time you called our entire audience filthy dirt grubs.
This is obviously not happening, nor has happened, and I don't have an ongoing war with Cardiff or Wales.
Let's not bring the energy of this episode down. Would you like to hear some more statistics about the show?
Oh, actually, that's what we were doing. Yes, statistics, please.
So as of right now, we are actively listened to in 70 countries.
Wow.
My apologies, 74. And for all of our episodes, looking at this, how many hours of audio do you think we got?
Ooh, do you know what? I have thought about that over the course of this journey. Look, if I'm to throw a figure out there, I'm going to say 30 hours.
30 hours. The Aranthian Succession itself was like 20.
Oh, that's right. It was too. Okay, 50 hours then.
109 hours, 46 minutes, and 25 seconds.
Wow. That is actually incredible. That's a lot of talking.
That is a lot of talking.
Wow. And that, I mean, a little sort of look behind the dressing room curtain a bit. There's a fair bit of stuff that does get edited out, and there's a fair bit of content where we have to talk and then just come back over it. So there's a few more hours on
those numbers as well.
Oh, do you really?
The raw, unedited audio of our podcast, and this one shocked me, especially after the total playing time of everything.
Yes.
121 hours and 16 minutes.
What?
So 12 hours, 11 and a half hours is what we have deleted from episodes.
Wow. That is crazy, isn't it?
11 and a half hours. What nonsense did we delete to make up for 11 and a half hours? And this is just our regular episodes, not including Patreon or the Hobby Diary stuff.
Right. Well, I mean, there was definitely at the start of this year, I did have a bit of a coughing fit. So that would make up for at least 16 minutes of that. So, that is incredible. I will say, folks, that I have to say a big thank you to you, Sam, because Sam does all of our editing, all on his Pat Malone, and has done all of that unaided. So thank you very much for keeping the wheels on and the roof on of this podcast.
And just quickly, that's not because Nathan can't do it. It's because he's openly said to me that he doesn't want to do it.
Remember the positivity thing? Remember the Zappos?
Yes. Positivity.
Think of Zappos.
He smiled while doing it. Okay. Before we do get into everything, though, what do you think our most popular episode has been in sheer number of listens?
Right. I had a look at something a couple of months ago. I'm going to say their House Escher.
Really?
Yeah, I thought I remember seeing that quite at the top of the pops. But for me personally, I would like to see it as Cinderac Burning.
Well, you actually have some excellent guesses. It was Aranthi Succession, Book 1, Cinderac Burning, with, by itself, 4,195 listens.
Wow. That is incredible. And to think that only really came out, at the end of last year, maybe the start of this year, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
End of last year. So that was December 16th.
Wow. So there were some episodes beforehand that are just not as popular. And it makes sense as well, because the Aranthian succession is such an important part of modern Necromunda lore and history that I guess people just want to get completely immersed in it. So, and we're going to get more when Secundus comes as well.
Yeah, well, the next two episodes rounding out our top 3 are Girls Just Want to Have Guns, House Escher, with 3,874 listens.
Wow.
And then Delark Ooh Ha Ha with 3,455 listens.
That's just because people want to hear the correct pronunciation.
The most controversial episode we ever did.
Actually, sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. There's one more stat I want to know. How many listens does our Vansar episode have?
I'm laughing because we're remaining positive.
Yeah, I'm asking a question, stats man. Can you fire me some stats?
It has none.
Oh,
because you stole my episode.
Yes.
And okay, so I want to clear something up. A number of people have asked, why not just rewrite the episode? It's not that I can't. Obviously, our gang episodes, the first section of each of them is us reading through the lore and history of that particular clan house and sort of interjecting. We chat about it. We come up with some ideas. And I could do that.
yes.
But I refuse to out of principle because Nathan took my toy and I'm not getting out of the sandpit until I get it back.
So it's that principle that I was banking on that would make you a stick in the mud, and rather than be like, "Hey, look at this episode," you would want to have what you originally done. So yeah. I'm happy with the end result for this, and who knows?
Yeah, well, it'll be good. Well, we've got 2 gang episodes left, so statistically, it's within a month. It's within a month I get my episode back.
Well, I'm sort of hoping to do it as our second year anniversary episode.
I would genuinely come to your house and beat you with a stick. I can't imagine why people think we don't get along.
We do get along. It's just a different kind of getting along.
It's a different kind of
lawyers are involved, I'll put it that way.
Lawyers in particular court orders.
Yeah.
So let's get into what our episode is actually going to be.
That.
We'll have some more mushy stuff at the end of the episode. Don't worry about that. But Scummers, we put the call out about a month ago. And when, I had the wrong date of the anniversary, I had a week from now as opposed to today. And we said that we wanted our listeners to send in their personal lore. That we wanted to read out a bunch of them on the episode, and because we've put ourselves up on this pedestal as guys who like talking about lore, we were going to find the ones that we loved the most and hand out prizes and just be what's the word? Malevolent? No. Beneficent? Where you're like a good person? What's it called when you're a good person? Benevolent. We're going to be benevolent. I don't know. We just wanted to give away free stuff. Yeah. And I was like, man, we're going to get 10 entries. It'll be cool. We can read out a couple and
Yeah.
You know, it'll be pretty easy. Nathan,
Yes.
do you know how many entries we got for listener law?
I think we were aiming to get 10. I'm going to say we got 15. Like, kind of blew it out of the water a bit.
We blew it out of the water a fair amount. I cut it off at midnight this morning, so the 1st of July. And we got 67 entries into our listener law competition. 67. So if just 2 more of our listeners were cool and sent something in, this episode would have been nice.
Yep. Very
but
good. Proud of yourself.
Listeners, this one's on you. I am. I really am. I'm really excited for this episode. I have not stopped grinning, even when you brought up the heartache I experienced when you stole my Van Sar episode. And that's okay. That's okay, because everything is good. Much like the Lego movie would tell us, everything is awesome.
Yes.
So let's do some listener law before I explode.
I will say one thing about the listener law. We
Do it.
have read through quite a fair few of them. I would say almost all of them. Yes?
I've up until now, I've got, I think, 3 that I haven't read.
Yeah. And I'm probably a little bit higher than that. I think I'm sitting at about 7 or 8 that I just haven't got to. But I will say the content has been mind-blowing.
They've been so good.
Amazing. And another thing that we've noticed that we seem to get on multiple emails is how much everybody loves that we've opened up the floor for them to be able to just bring their lore and their mind explosions for their gangs or their histories or whatever, and bring it to a forum that wants to hear them. So
yes.
Everybody's saying, what a great idea, what a great idea. And I just love the fact that we get to be involved in that. I love the fact that we're the ones who get to see so much content come in, so much information, and it's brilliant stuff. There's one thing
there genuinely hasn't been a bad one.
Yeah, exactly. There's not one thing I've read where I've been going, oh, that seems a bit lifeless, that seems a bit like lackluster. Everything has just been written with passion or, described.
So you didn't read my law then?
I have Van Sar. They have Plasma Gun Factory.
My Squatkin band of no Nathans were allowed 1.
That's okay. You only need 1.
Yeah. So, how do we want to do this? Because I don't know which ones you've picked.
Yeah, well, that was the other thing we did as well, folks, is we've actually secretly chosen 3 each that we like. We've chosen 3.
I've chosen 3. And
I don't trust you.
I chose 3 of the regular ones, and I chose one that I really like for the Patreon one.
Ah, righto. Okay. So yeah, we've chosen 3. We don't know which one is. So you'll just have to bear with us in the fact that we might end up going on little tangents here.
We're going to go down some carrier holes, kids.
So we might interrupt each other and be like, oh my God, the idea that comes along with this. So with our normal episodes, we do get a bit of a read and we both understand what we're talking about and so forth. With this, I'm going to be reading the one that Sam doesn't know and vice versa. But he would have already read it, but this is the one that I've picked. And so it'll give us an opportunity just to, I guess, mind vomit a little bit and come up with some ideas or come up with some concepts. So
okay, and here's an idea. What if, so when we talked about the prizes we were going to be handing out, we sort of said, we're not just going to be talking about Necromunda. So if you've said something that we're like, oh, that's a sick concept, and we think this kit, whether it be from Necromunda, 40k, Age of Sigmar, Warcry, whatever we can get our hands on, if we're like, we think this would be sick, if you win, that's what we're going to send you.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if it's from like a game you don't play, like, well, you play Necromunda, so make it Necromunda.
Because guess
Or-
what?
Yeah.
Everything's a Necromunda miniature.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
So, okay, I'm going to jump into this.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited for this one because you're going to love the gang that it is. And this comes from one of our listeners, Dr. Toe.
Still a great name.
The most badass dentist in the entire Underhive. And it comes into this one here. Hey guys, it's your favourite Underhive dentist again. I finally got around to finishing up my entry for the 1 year anniversary episode. Also, congrats on 1 year of law keeping. And without further ado, here it is. P.S. Nathan sucks.
What? It doesn't say that.
How would you know? You've never read it. Now, this is a gang that he created called the Glowworms of Freehold. Antonius Praxek started as a ganger in the Dayglow Dragons, led by Felroth Day. Antonius was tasked with training and maintaining a group of abhumans. Though they were some of his failed experiments, Felroth still wanted them combat-ready for future tasks. Over time, Antonius grew a bond with the abhumans and truly cared for them and their well-being. And in secret, he wished to find a place for them away from Felroth's constant experiments. Antonius devised a plan to release one of Felroth's Ogren test subjects to cause a diversion so he and his abhumans could escape during the commotion. The plan worked far better than planned, as the Ogren was unstoppable in its rage to freedom. Antonius and his crew geared up and escaped during the chaos. Through rumour and Ratskin Guide, Antonius and his crew made their way to the town of Freehold, known for accepting abhumans and the like. The gang was stopped at the front gates and met Ezra and greeted by the mayor of Freehold, a ratling in a wig by the name of Big Clarence, and his two Ogren bodyguards, Timmy and Tommy.
Yes!
I'm sorry. I love this so much. I'm crying. Now, firstly, Toe, you have hit so many of my happy buttons with this. Van Saar, free Ogrens, abhumans, a rattling in a wig by the name of Big Clarence. I'm dying. I love this.
I love that. When there was a rattling in a wig, I'm like, is this Horatio?
Is this Horatio?
Has Horatio become the mayor? What's going on? But it's just the imagery of that in just this, like, I imagine like a ye olde type of wig. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like I'm the judge, and then he's just known as Big Clarence because he's just in charge. He's just got this winning personality and able to boss everybody around.
Yeah, and he has these two. I'm picturing them as like Ogren twins, not servitor Ogrens, just straight up Ogrens.
Yes.
And they're just like, yep, boss is the big man. We got to call him Big Clarence. Yeah. But anyway, to continue.
Yes.
A deal was made where Antonius and his gang of abhumans would support Freehold by doing tasks from maintaining the old and failing technology that keeps the town running, to guarding the town's walls and even going on raids to fight off developing threats. All of this was worth it to Antonius, for he and his crew had a place to call their own, free to do as they please. They are the glowworms of Freehold. I'm loving this, but Toe hasn't stopped there. He's come in with a bunch of like characters that he's built, like he's come up with for this game.
Yeah.
And there's two of them that just kill me. So Antonius Praxek, so he was the ganger that sort of led the abhumans out.
Yeah.
He suffered a grievous wound when defending a Van Saar caravan from Orlok wreckers. Now, the goods were kept safe, but at the cost of his legs taken away by a melter bomb. So he survived and has been given new augmented legs. Like, badass.
Let me stop you there. What I love about this is he's fighting alongside abhumans, and he basically becomes abhuman. So I see his bionic legs as not like regular human legs, but like, the double jointed legs of a
Yes.
of a
Yes.
fawn or satyr, whatever they call them, that kind of thing. So it just mobilizes around, and he sort of blends in from like a silhouette point of view. You'd be like, that's not really human. That's something else. Do you know what I mean? But then appears.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm hoping that's what Dr. Toe was aiming for.
Toe's made the gang. And you've described them perfectly. He's used those Sicarian rust stalker legs where they are almost like deer legs.
Yes, perfect.
Yeah. But then there's Tony Two Hooves. He's a beastman who was wounded by a choke gas grenade, ruining his respiratory system. He's built in a respirator and a new set of augmented lungs. But he can no longer speak. He communicates with taps with his hooves. 1 for yes, 2 for no, and 3 for danger. And I'm assuming 4 for like, play that funky music. Rattling boy.
I was going to say 4 is like throw down, it's party time, all's safe, all's good. So far, I love Tony Two Hooves. Like how a beastman got the most like, New York street thug named Tony. It's just the best. They're like, yep.
I think it would have been because someone was making fun that he didn't have any toes anymore. And so he's got, he goes from toes to knee, but he's got 2 hooves. I'm skipping the next one because I want to save them for last. Yeah. So lastly, but not lastly, we have Randy Radstag, a beastman, and got his name from his love of radiation weapons. He just loves them. And Toe has this Vansar ganger with like this gore head with these 2 beautiful big horns, and he's carrying a rad cannon. Like, I love it. But the last 2.
Can I just one more interjection there? That's what I mean about creating a lore. Like you're like, I want this gun, but I just want more than just having the gun. I want a reason why he's got the gun. Do you know what I mean? And so you kind of, if sometimes can feel like you're crowbarring the lore in to be able to create these weapon systems or sets on your character. But when it's done in this fashion, it's beautiful. You're like, it's Randy Radstag.
This is perfect. Yeah. This is perfect.
Yes.
Like, everything so far has been so naturally done. And I'm saving the best for last year. We have the Rattling Twins. Stavros and his brother Pockets. Pockets is also named Stavros, but was given a nickname for less confusion, and because if anything went missing, it could usually be found in his pockets.
Yes!
And Toe has made them out of the Ren and Rouse minis from Blackstone Fortress.
Yeah.
He's changed their weapons. He's given them the Vansar, like, helmet masks. I just love these things. This gang. And he sent this to us after all of this because he'd made this gang. And, like, he also stole your idea of the Adeptus Mechanicus. Is it the Scipio Scorpion tank? You know, the tank with, like, the big serviceable gun? Yeah. He's using that as the vehicle as well.
Oh, perfect.
Like, I love it. I just think it's so good. And, I as soon as I read it, I just had to put this in there as our first entry into this because I love everything about it.
And it's beautiful. They got such a good gang name as well, the Glowworms of Freehold. Like this, it's just, it rolls off the tongue. But I will say, though, the cleverness of Dr. Toe, though, Stavros and Pockets, they become very notable, easily remembered characters.
Yeah.
All he's done is just give them names. That's it, and a reason for their name. You know, there's no ridiculous backstory or anything like that. They just have 2 names, and the reason why there's not 2 Stavroses, but Stavros and Pockets, and it's stuff always ends up in his pockets, and so at the end of a game, you can have Pockets trying to pilfer something, steal it from another gang member, steal a few extra credits. Brilliant stuff, Dr. Toe. Just like on the money. Absolutely on the money. I loved it.
So, but for my first entry, it's got to be this gang. Like,
Without
I just
saying,
love them.
without saying he's won, if he were to win, what is the prize you would like to see Dr. Toe's glowworms receive?
Okay, when he talked about how Antonius made the deal that, they guard the walls, but they also go on, they go on raids to fight off developing threats and that sort of stuff. But they're maintaining the gear, the old machinery and that.
Yeah.
It's got to be something Van Sar, and honestly, if he's the winner, I'm tossing up between either the Ash Waste Arachnorigs, because I can imagine. Can you imagine a beastman strapped into the front of one of them?
That's really cool. I was thinking, how are you going to abhuman it up?
Yeah.
But,
can you imagine a rattling strapped into the front of one of them?
Do you know what I would do with the rattling? Is actually have him operating it from the back. You know what I mean? Like a little control panel from the back, just like boop, 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 little data screen, like actually plugging into his brain as well. So like you do these little tendrils that are like, I don't know, sort of something like a data spike inside his brain, and gets plugged in, and he just operates the rig from the back there. He's shrouded, like, he's got like a little hood, and he's just a little operating system that he uses from the back of the rig. That would be really, really cool. And it would throw you as well, because you'd be like, special pilot in there. No, the pilot sits in the back where it's safest.
Yeah, I'm tossing up between them and the Archaeotechs and Grav Cutters.
Oh, that's actually really cool. I could see the Grav Cutters.
Yeah, I'd love to see Rattlings, or I'd love to see Beastmen on Grav Cutters.
Yeah. What other abhumans could you mess around with?
Abhumans. I mean, if you're looking at the sort of abhuman range, you're really starting to look at, if you 40k, the Ogren Bullgrins.
Bullgrins, yeah.
Like, he can make Timmy and Tommy and maybe like a freebooter.
Yeah.
What's the word? Like a freebooter Ogren?
Yeah.
Freebooter Ogren?
I think they're freebooters. I know the orcs in 40k are definitely called freebooters, which are the...
Yeah, but
like
I'd call them a freebooter, like a travelling mercenary made his way to Freehold. There's not a lot of Imperial stuff I'd put in there.
No, definitely not. I think it needs to be thrown away, the shackles of the Imperium, and it needs to have sort of a real freedom. So even like, the problem with the ogres from Age of Sigmar is that they don't have the best posable miniatures. Like they are sort of a little bit straightforward. But no,
his gang's already so dynamic.
Yeah.
I want the miniatures to match. Yeah, I'm gonna have to say either the Arachnorigs or the
Grav Cutters.
The Grav Cutters, yeah.
I'm going to go with the Arachnorigs on this. I can see them having salvaged one of these from a Van Sar convoy.
Oh, yeah. That's a real good point.
And then it's sort of like a little bit of a stick that in your eye, Van Sar. We've got one of your
in the Dayglow the Ash Waste Arachnorigs. Yeah, like the Dayglow Dragons have sent some scouts out. They've spotted them, smashed them.
Yeah.
And then, Stavros and Pockets are like, yeah, boss, we can get these things working. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. And we've got a mate. We've got a mate who will jump into this. We only met him like 3 days ago. Completely trustworthy, though.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
That's cool.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. If Toe wins, Ash Waste Arachnorigs.
Yep. All right.
I'm gonna write that down because I will forget. And so we're just gonna say Toe, Ash Wastes Arachni-rigs. We are professionals.
The most professional.
The most professional. All right. What's your first one?
Right. So this comes from, and forgive me for the pronunciation of your name if I do mess it up, but it is in High Gothic, so it's okay. It is Pepin Waters. Walters? Ooh. Yes, I don't know how to pronounce his name. So Pepin writes, Dear Underhive Lorekeepers, I'm fairly new to Necromunda, but you guys got me hooked. You're welcome. Thank you. You're welcome. Right now, I'm making my first gang. Orlocks, the most evil house. I like that I can give them...
Punch them right in the dredge.
Yeah, exactly. I like that I can give them my own flavour really easily. Anyway, this is my gang lore. Feel free to give your own thoughts, make up scenarios, maybe even more ideas to give them more flavour. I'm a newbie, so maybe my lore isn't correct and English isn't my first language. So, sorry in advance. Love you guys. We love you too,
Bro,
Pepin.
yeah. Firstly, bro, we speak English all the time, and we still stuff it up, so...
Yeah, this is written a lot better than I could dream of, so well done, Pepin. All right, so they are the Metro Moles. This is what drew me to them first, more than anything else, the Metro Moles. It's something you don't expect in Necromunda. But anyway, I'm not gonna give narration about every word that I read from the email. I'll stop that. The, as in, oh my god, the Necromunda. Yeah, the best. The Metro Moles, Vault Keepers and underground explorers and treasure hunters from House Orlok. Being more secretive than other Orloks, the Metro Moles are known to be the black market dealers and explorers within the House of Iron. They have hidden vaults scattered all over Necromunda, where they store rare ores found within the Orlok mines, lost history, artifacts, archaeotech, and many other things they consider valuable. They take their inspiration in living in the image of Orlandus Orlok with his successful find of the Void Ship. Like Orlandus, they try to find the most valuable things, all to honour their house. Although they do come above ground in the hives and ash wastes, their main source of operation is in the underground tunnels, underhive, sewers, and abandoned metro stations. Now, I will pause there. It's that idea that they take their inspiration from Orlandus,
Yeah.
and the fact that they are underground Orloks is so cool. It is such a different
already
take.
adding such a great aspect to it there that maybe we've never thought about.
Yep.
That we know there's the tunnels and the train, the maglevs and all that sort of stuff. Until, and I'm going to say, is it Pepin?
Pepin. I'm pronouncing it Pepin. Like from Lord of the Rings.
It's our boy Pep.
Pep.
I'm assuming you're a guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's our homie Pep. Now, Pep has pointed out something really good that I've never considered. That there's going to be these train stations. We have them in cities now. We have them in Melbourne. There are underground train stations that have just been abandoned.
Yep.
They've been blocked off. And now expand that to a place like Necromunda, where these metro stations that they're inhabiting may be forgotten cities, maybe sections of hives that were started. Maybe they may be those forbidden cities that the Ghast and the Ghast dealers and that grow in. Like, already, I'm hooked by this.
Yeah.
I'm. Oh,
do you know what,
I'm
Drew?
all aboard.
What got me for this, and I'll move on to the rest of it in a moment. We're only just the first bit of it. What got me to this is the reason they're fighting other gangs. That's like, why are they fighting these other gangs? Like their exploration, their treasure hunters and so forth. So what is it that House Goliath are doing or own or, have done to them that have brought the Metro Moles out from their tunnels and sort of said, you know what? We're going to come and mess with you, and we've got archaeotech coming out the wazoo. We're Orloks, but our shotguns, they fire warp rounds, or they fire these kinds of rounds. We carry not just arc hammers, but phase swords, and you're probably not going to be able to do it in a game, but the idea that they come emerging out of the tunnels with these tech, and you're like, I kicked a hornet's nest here.
You've actually just hit something on the head. The Metro Moles are a perfect gang idea for if you're doing one of those 3,000 cred Iron Man campaigns where you pull your guys up from the start.
Yes.
Stop. I need to stop. We need to finish this read.
We're coming back to that idea.
Pep has given me a gang idea.
Oh, wow. Well done, Pep. Right.
Yes. Go.
Some say that they are getting hired by the Adeptus Mechanicus and the Dark Mechanicum to look for hidden knowledge, or STCs, but they only sell to the highest bidder, of course. This payment can come in creds, weapons, and cybernetics. Because they look all over Necromunda, Hives, Ashwaste, and many more places, including Secundus, they try to re-establish the underground transport system, henceforth the metros. This way they can uncover more hidden vaults, but they also seek more treasure and help House Orlok with their transport. So they're still saying linked to the house, but my gang before my house.
Oh, and just quickly, I'm sorry, but the rumours they're getting hired by the Mechanicus and possibly even the Dark Mechanicus.
Yeah, baby. I didn't want to stop, but that was freaking nuts. Oh. Yeah. Love it.
Pep, I hate you. I love this.
They oversee miners, drudges, and servitors. They oversee miners, drudges, and servitors their House of Iron provides to work on the underground metro tunnels of Necromunda. This is to avoid the Ashwaste nomads and other dangers above ground while transporting their valuables. Although underground isn't any better, in the meantime, they often use ratskin guides instead of the Ashwaste nomads to guide them around Necromunda and look for many secrets the world has to offer. So in Necromundan terms, the relationships between them and most ratskins are stable. They even have a little pact called the Between Rats and Moles. They also use this sentence to let the ratskins know who they are. Pause here for a second. Pause. Don't say a thing. I get to say this bit because this is... Okay.
Yep.
I was fairly well convinced. I loved this idea. And then it was Between Rats and Moles, and they used that as their like little password. I was like, you got me. You got me. Rat, skin, and sinker.
Like, but it's so smart where they're... And I want you to finish this.
Yeah, okay, I'll finish it.
Yeah, go, because I'm about to... Oh, it's bubbling up.
Because they are so curious about new tech and just stuff in general, many would think they are naive. However, don't make this mistake, because when they think something might be dangerous, they often force test it on a scummer that happened to pass by, or a dredge that didn't meet the quota, or just looked at them wrong. The Metro... he nearly lost me there. Yeah. The Metro moles are brutal, greedy, and cunning, and will do anything to keep their vaults a secret and expand upon them. What differs them from most other Orlok gangs is they actually recruit from the drudges. They often pick out the sneaky types, the ones that make deals or show interest in ores or curios and have a knack for snuffing and digging around. That's it for now. That's the end of his thing. I actually felt like I was reading proper gang lore, not just somebody's submission. But So my gang's aesthetic is inspired by Blackjack, the black market dealer in Call of Duty Black Ops 3. I also feel like this has a lot of potential for narratives and reasons to have a conflict with other gangs, keeping the vault secret from the Delacroix, fighting over religious curio with Cawdor, gene stealers in the tunnels. I can go on. Now, this bit we have to read. Thank you guys for the amazing podcasts. It's nice, relaxing time working on my minis or even doing some work while listening to you guys. Happy birthday in advance, your loyal fan and scummer, Pepin. Thank you very much. Thank you, Pepin. That has been when I first read it, I knew it was a winner because I just had so many ideas swarming in my head. And where we
I haven't read this one.
Yeah. Oh, this is one of the few that you haven't. Yeah, right. But fighting over a religious curio with the Cawdor.
Yes.
What a cracker. And what that inspired me to think of is a Cawdor mining crew who dig into the planet to find religious iconographies and icons that they know of. And they encounter the moles and they become like this consistent enemy. And they would be really horrible enemies of the Ratskins as well, because they would see, this so-called native Necromundan that doesn't want to embrace the rule of the Emperor or the light of the Emperor. And so they would go toe-to-toe with them. You know what I mean? So, but the gang itself, the imagery you have for them, like night vision goggles, Actually, in the picture that he has submitted of this blackjack from Call of Duty, it's very much like that. Hooded, night vision goggles. Like the gear is very tightly strapped to the person as well. So you could see there wouldn't be lots of loose, jangly bits. There wouldn't be like an axe that could get caught on something underground. Everything is tight and sleek, but they would fight like they would fight knowing that this is their monopoly over this part of the world and all they want to do is maintain it.
But do you notice how deliquescent they are?
Yes. Yeah.
Where they're sneaking, they're hiring directly from the drudges.
Yeah.
But anyway.
The All Black recruit from their drudges, right? But what I imagine Pepper's talking about is it's not just like saying, hey guys, we need 10 able bodies to go and, raid a convoy or go stomp out another work crew. This is them studying and watching their drudges and going,
yes,
which one?
Yes.
Look at him. He's like, he's suddenly talking to that work gang over there that he doesn't normally talk to. And, he's making these dealings and he's moving and he's actually like trying to find the little connections that help him sort of stay on the good with everybody whilst not staying on the outer with everybody as well. So I love this.
I love, so firstly, the throwbacks. Like, Pep, you've talked about how you've only just sort of getting into Necromunda and that, and you're pulling in stuff like rat skin guides and, they're underground to avoid the nomads. And I did like that he says they often use the rat skin guides as opposed to the nomad guides, almost as if he's immediately making a differentiation between the nomads that we know as in like the nomad gangs and then nomads as in wandering tribes of people from the wastes.
Of course, yes.
And
yes.
I just think that's, if you're only just getting into it, my dude, you are smashing it. But the continued world building with this lore of them getting to the next train station in the network, getting the generators working, blocking up the holes, making sure it's defendable. They set up a bar, they've franchised out a Lucky Six.
I was just about to say.
Yeah. And they've got, then the drudges move up and, the drudges that are, that are watching the corners properly and that sort of thing. Or, they see that one of the gangers is walking past and sees one of the drudges has a shiv. And it's just, hey, listen, I see the knife. The drudge is like, okay, shit, fight or flight.
Yeah.
Like, no, you're gonna you should come with me. And it's, boys, this drudge here, you notice anything about her? And they're like, well, no, what? It's like, she's one of us now.
Yeah.
She's gonna blade past all of you. She's sneaky. And this blackjack is almost the perfect mix of Orlok and Delark.
Yeah.
The way he's put together. But it's not clandestine enough to be Delark, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, it still looks like a brawler. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like,
yes, that's the word.
Yeah. Do you know when you get like a rogue in D&D or a fantasy game and you go, oh, he's clearly a sneaky assassin-y type thing. But then you get other rogues that you're just like, oh, he's ready to start punching faces in. That's the way I see this Orlok gang. Like they definitely look like sneaky, naughty no-goods who go and hide, but they also look like don't mess with us because we will literally stomp you out. Like,
correct.
It won't even be a moment. We will just end you. So yeah, I am very much enthralled with this gang.
Yeah, I'm loving this. But the question is, okay, if Pep takes the win here,
yes,
what are you thinking? Because I have an idea, but I really want to hear yours first.
Okay, no word of a lie here. I have struggled with an idea from this, and it's exactly what you're talking about. This gang needs to be the perfect mix of both sneaky and the iron fist of the of House Orlok. So the gang that I sort of looked at, because they're shuffling around and going underground and so forth, was actually the Jade Obelisk from Warcry.
Oh,
so
okay.
They have like this manufactured armor. They have hooded cows over them. They look like they are off kilter a little bit. But if you slap a bit of Orlock Tech and a little bit of 40k over them, they suddenly get this different vibe and feel. That was...
Dude,
and look,
yes. And the leather overcoats.
Yeah.
One guy's got that awesome pick.
Yeah.
So,
look, I mean, the cows was 90% of it is what I thought of. But as I looked at them, I was sort of like, it's not hard to make their armour look a bit more 40k-ish. And you could definitely all lock it up. You know what I mean? But they're also quite, as what I was saying about them, they don't have a lot of loose bits hanging off their waist and so forth. Like a little bit of stuff hanging off their arms, but nothing that would really restrict them moving around in long since abandoned tunnels. But I'm desperate to hear your idea now, because I'm as much as I'm confident with this, I really am. I would love to know what Pep would like, to be honest. So.
I love the aesthetic you're going for there. Jade Obelisk was definitely not something I would have thought of. And now that you've said it, I'm really liking it. But I've got to go to 40k here. I've got to go to the Imperial Guard. And I've got to say that Krieg squad. Because they've got the overcoats, the rebreathers, the backpacks. You change some of the weapons for auto guns. You know, you kit bash that with an Orlock kit, where you take off those helmets and get the Orlock heads on there.
Get the Orlock helmets with... Do they have the Ashwace upgrade yet?
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah. Orlocks with those, like, trench coats and rebreathers on. They look a bit shifty. Yeah, that's...
But they've got the webbing. They're keeping their gear close to them, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like, I'm definitely seeing the Kriegsmen sort of look to them with head and weapon swaps. Like, obviously, no self-respecting Orlock, even if they were a drudge at some point, is coming into a fight with a las pistol.
Yeah.
But, if you look at the Ashwace upgrade kit, they've got all the rebreathers, they've got the goggles, the bandanas over the mouth, probably one of the greatest mustaches to ever be released in a Warhammer kit. I'd be going towards that Veteran Guardsman squad and bashing them with a squad of Orlocks. In fact, if Pep doesn't do it, I might do it.
I am torn, because I have sat with my idea for a couple of days now, like stuck in my head. But, do you know the other one that I had a look at as well, and I'm being a bit Warcry centric, is the Tarantulas brood. Again, it's the hoods and the cows, but the Tarantulas just don't do it enough for me, because they're just a little bit too wispy for Orlocks. Like,
I was going to say they're a little spindly for Orlocks in my mind. Yeah.
So that was the only other one. Look, let's put a pin in that one and decide what we're going to do in terms of...
Okay, I'll mark it down. Jade, Obelisk, or Krieg.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to continue reading out everything I type, because I'm 6. So, my next one... we're going to do the Patreon one last, aren't we?
We'll do the Patreon one last.
Yeah, cool. All right, cool. I'm going to change the one I was about to read.
Okay.
This one here, this is a great one. This has got a hell of a title too. The United Cult Secret Militia Frateris, also known as the Thelonious Frateris.
I was going to say it probably needed a bit more of a succinct gang name, but yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, it's no, and let's see if I can do this one again in one go, Ginormogantuanhypermegasodeiversary first birthday listener lore episode spectacular.
Firstly.
Huh?
Nothing. I was trying to add to it. I sounded silly. Continue.
So this comes to us from Christian, and Christian jumps straight into this here. And I know you're going to love this one because it has some bonkers religious nonsense.
Yes.
A retired officer by the name of Thelonious resides in an undisclosed hive. For decades, he has secretly been an avid supporter of the redemptionist cause, saving most of his imperial salary towards the end. Several years even before his honourable retirement, he started spinning a vast net across several hives with the intent to unite the faithful into one secret Fraterus militia. Although expressly forbidden by law, Thelonious holds the opinion that the purification within the imperial world and the vigilance of the emperor's faithful children is a matter for the masses. Either you keep the fires of faith blazing hot, or you let it stagnate until eventually there is nothing left but the decadent, heretical creed so prevalent in the minds of ordinary folk. Just pausing there, I need to go to church this weekend.
It's inspiring, isn't it?
Christian has shamed me.
I'm telling you now, that line there is nothing left but the decadent heretical creed. That is what the word bearers would have said before they got a slap on the wrist from the Ultramarines. You know, this is word bearer wording. Oh, not rhetoric. That's what I'm looking for.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, Emperor.
Oh my God, Emperor. You've just put an amazing spin on this, and I can't go on this tangent right now. I need to finish this first.
You okay?
Yes, okay. So, Thelonious knew what side he was on, and over the years, he had established contact with religious leaders in all levels of the hive world that held the same beliefs as he did. With his strategically disposed mind, he had formed the United Cult's secret militia Fraterus, a force to be reckoned with both in times of peace as well as in times of civil unrest. First, it was the Sludge Lake Cutties that had officially confessed their allegiance to the Thelonious Fraterus. It didn't take long until the cult were declared heretical, and within a week thereafter, not even one Jew of the cult existed alive. However, this didn't discourage those who shared Thelonious' cause, but served as an example and definitive proof that the state-sanctioned religion would rather declare war on the faithful than confess to stumbling further away from righteous faith and admit their theological wrongdoings. By worshipping hedonism, corruption of the true faith by worldly power and greed, sins only redeemed by capital punishment and abasing death by the hand of those masses that had been taken advantage of. I'm getting really...
He's a student of law, He's a student of law. There's no other excuse.
Stop. Let me finish this before we turn this into a chaos game.
That makes me want to go hunt down heretics. Just that paragraph you read then. I'm like, all right, guys, strap on your las guns. We're going to go burn anything out praying to our version of the Emperor.
Do you want to start a religious war? Just because we can?
Yeah, absolutely.
Whoa. Do you want to kill the other guy?
Yeah.
No. Do you want to kill a churchman? No. Okay. Finish the law. Today, a deep and vast network of support structure exists. Any church, cult, or gang that is a thread in this net would always find a secret helping hand, both financially, juridically? What does that mean?
Like it's jurisdiction. Like
Judicial.
Juridically.
It's relating to judicial... so they're like pulling it into the law and that... Okay. Juridicially and willingly arming anyone willing to wield an autogun against the heretical oppressors. Thelonious himself was the key figure, but he had established a structure that would continue even at his timely departure. Few are those of insignificant importance within their own organizations that know about the Thelonious Fraterus, and as long as orders and armaments reach the faithful foot soldiers, it is safer if only those who need to know. That has been the creed of every successful partisan force, and as such had mindfully been the creed of the Thelonious Frateris since its founding. Now, this is a little note that Christian's written here.
I started reading a little bit. I was really hoping you'd read this. Yeah.
This law came about when I did yet another Cawdor-associated gang, and this time with clearly Astra Militarum vibes. I have so many Cawdor and Redemptionist models that I jokingly said more than once that I could play a Frateris army if I ever wanted to play 40k. Then it hit me. That's the law. All my different Cawdor and Redemptionist-leaning gangs could all be connected, but without having one huge 100 model gang. Who would even need that, right? Firstly, Christian, you.
Yeah.
You need that. And also, I now need that. Thank you so much for making me write these small stories, all written in inconvenient places. Having nothing to do on a flight. Have nothing to do on a flight? Write some law. Sitting on the toilet to take shelter from the goblin Jews? Write some God Emperor damned law. Christian, you are so correct, but unfortunately, as my beloved co-host has pointed out, I'm convinced that Thelonious is reading directly from the Book of Lorgar.
Yeah.
Or at some point he has literally gotten the writings of Grimaldus. Yeah. He's just like, burn the heretic!
Yeah.
This is proper 40k religious insanity. I love everything about this.
Now, just to clarify, if you love everything about this, then I am actually in love with this. And do you know what I love about this? Is the fact, it's religious nutters. You've won me over. Religious nutters and 100 plus religious nutters all getting together to go stomp down some other Cawdor who have decided that their version of the Emperor is better, or that they found out about the Thelonians and have said, we're going to go kill them because they're worshipping differently. But just the fact that he's talking about this served as an example and definitive proof that the state-sanctioned religion would rather declare war on the faithful than confess to stumbling further away from the righteous faith.
Yeah.
Hallelujah. That is so good. It is like fighting against the big man. It's a fighting against Big Brother of the religious world of Necromunda, and saying your viewpoint, your ideology is all wrong. You've got it all back to front. The Thelonian Church, the Church of Thelonious, is where you will hear the actual proper truth.
Yes.
And
yes. Your faith is wrong.
Yeah.
Our faith is correct.
Yeah. And our icon of a burning book, don't look into the history of that. That just means a lot to us.
But that's not a demon, it's an angel.
Yeah, it's an angel that is so angered by your version of faith. It is formed into this way. But this is so cool because it's taking ideas and concepts about misunderstandings in faith, misunderstandings in belief, and saying the world of 40k is so vast, and even on Necromunda, there's so much misinformation, so much knowledge, so it's so vast in itself that everything can be misconstrued. And this colonel, this retired officer, I'm making him a colonel. Congratulations on your promotion.
I reckon he's a colonel.
He's been influenced by something he's seen out in his service. Something that made him believe and go, the emperor that they understand, the emperor that they worship, is not the emperor they should be worshipping. They are afflicted, they're affected, they are tainted. And so I bring them the truth. And it's almost like a Cold War type of crusade where the truth just needs to be, we spread the truth. And, the spreading of the truth will come at the hand of an autogun. It will come at burning down, an enforcer precinct that is deliberately going after our Thelonians, or it's even taking on the Sisters of Battle and saying the truth that you're persecuting, the truth that you're trying to undermine, it is our truth, it is our belief, and we're going to take your power away from you so that we, and as he said, we can bring our voice to the minds of the ordinary folk. I'm inspired by this. I want to start a crusade on Necromunda for the Thelonians. And you know what I love? The first two that we've already read, they amp you up in a certain way. Each one of these amps us differently. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's the lore reading from this has been some of the best interactions I've ever had in the hobby. In my 30 odd years of being in the hobby, this is some of the best.
Yeah.
When I used to work in the store and people would come in and tell me their concepts and their ideas for their armies, and I would sit there and we'd work out what's the great miniature to have, or why were you not having this unit. They were some really awesome things to do with people, but it was so limited. This lore competition has just been like a tsunami of just brilliant and engaging ideas. But unless you have some sort of religious notion that you want to explain, tell me what you want to give Christian.
This is really, really hard because
I'm thinking that too as well. The man already has a metric ton of Cawdor, and from the sounds of it, Astra Militarum. But what suits this gang? You know, don't forget the idea of, you know, where they sit in Necromunda, but what suits the ideology? You know what I mean?
Chaos cultists.
Yes, my man.
I'm not even kidding. Like, because they are the unwashed masses. Like, they're, and you're gonna have to. If you do win Christian, you're gonna have to, and we go this route. You're gonna have to get rid of like chaos icons and that sort of stuff. But they are barely armored. They are armored in their faith. They have the piecemeal armor. They have clubs. They have pistols. Like there's like a chainsword here and there. But I really personally, I'd love to say the Dark Apostle with the two like little acolyte guys from the Chaos Space Marine range.
Yeah.
But I'm not forcing him to turn his 100 models into word bearers. But yeah. So when I say Chaos Cultists, I mean this kit here. Like it's a box of 10. And there's, you got the mixture of the running. They're all in motion.
Yeah.
They all look, and with just slight conversions, a little bit of green stuff to fill in some chaos stuff.
They look like scrappers. They
do.
They look like the people who know that the word of the Emperor has let them down their entirety of their life. So
yes.
the Church of Thelonious makes sense to them. The Church of Thelonious engineers the same sort of devotion and spirit and hope that the creed of the Emperor used to do for them. This brings them closer to something that resembles a chance, and these are the type of people that would work on.
Yeah, like, man, but
I did have another idea.
I hate the fact that they're chaos, but I just think they just fit what he said so well, because they are just so ridiculously zealous. Or I have one other idea, but I want to hear yours first.
My idea is the Scions of Flame. That the only problem is they feel like a bit of an obvious choice, and also it's Warcry again. Warcry is just phenomenal.
I see where you're going with that, though.
Yeah. So these guys, they all look very, very angry. They're all armoured up differently. They've got a real sort of eclectic feel to them. There's all different bits and bobs all over them. And they do look like they're ready to go on crusade. So that is definitely something I would like to see added to a Cawdor gang, if not already done by somebody. But even the guy with the burning flames on him, you have him as a mouthpiece of the Thelonian Church, and that's why he's covered in these flames. And
Yeah.
they just go, oh, no, he's not a psyker. That's actually,
That's
the
the will
blessing.
of the Emperor.
Yeah, it's his blessing as the Emperor falling upon him. And so he is just delivering that blessings by using his body to become a weapon. Yeah, so...
Yeah. I really like that now you've said it. My other ideas were either the Inquisitorial Agents kill team or the Adeptus Sororitas Novitiates kill team. Like, those novitiates, they're all in that leather armor, and can you imagine if the Thelonians had somehow managed to co-opt a group of the Adeptus Sororitas to their particular brand of redemption?
Yes, and so they believe this truth. And so these are like the novitiates. So they're more susceptible, more inclined to believe.
Yeah. In fact, I'm not going to say Inquisitorial Agents. I'm going to say the novitiates.
Yeah, and you get rid of the like little boss lady or whatever, like the one who looks less corruptible, and you have the rest of them. Maybe they're led by a redemptionist.
A redemptionist preacher.
Yeah, who's taken
in charge
over.
of them. Yep, and you just need a flappy baby. You need a flappy baby with them.
Yeah,
yeah,
and you get rid of their their markings of the Sisters of Battle, and they change it all up. They have like maybe a burning book. Who knows? But
burning book with that angel face on it.
There you go. Yes.
Oh, so that's great.
I actually, as much as I'd love to see your first option, the Chaos Cultists, I feel like the novitiates win it, and they win it because it's almost like bringing a structure to this absolutely mad bag religious nutter group, and saying
because they've managed to co-opt a crew of Adeptus Sororitas, and people see them. People see Quarter and they go, "Oh, these Emperor botherers. What do these dickheads want?"
Yeah.
You see a crew of Sisters of Battle come down. Yeah. Even the Escher are sort of going, "Oh."
Yeah, and even though they're the neophytes or novitiates, you would even still go, that's structured religious nutter. Like that's not just mob religious nutter. This is like underpants on the head, but like all of them have the underpants on the head, and all of them are lining up to create a firing line. We might be in trouble here, folks. So, okay. I'm going to go with the novitiates.
Yeah,
it's an off-ball, a slightly off-center one, but I think given the imagery that Christian's creating, I think he could create something beautifully with these.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
That was greatly inspiring. Like, I want to do something religious nutter now. Like, I'm not even going to word of a lie. I just want to, find my old Marine chapter, which was all religious nutters, and dust them off and just be like, let's go for it, lads. We're not Primaris, but we still got, a bit of bite in us.
Oh, man. Oh, I really like that. Oh, I really should get a box of those novitiates.
So the next entry we have is from at the Crystal Labyrinth on Instagram, known as Kat. So Kat writes, I've recently been listening to your podcast and saw your post about sending along your lore for an episode and contests. Mine might be a bit long for your purposes, but I've included 2 interconnected pieces, Little White and the Chemist Queen, in what I'm hoping will be a series of writings about a fallen noble girl and a gang of Eschers. I'm super excited to and a bit nervous, she writes, to share them with people who actually enjoy Necromunda lore. So far, they've been read by 3 people. Hopefully you enjoy them. I'm also including a pic of the model for Little White and some art for the commission at Underhive Soul. Right. So
also,
I think...
just quickly, I've just jumped on the Crystal Labyrinth's Instagram page, and holy hell.
Oh, wow.
Cat can paint.
There is... Yep, that puts me to shame. Horribly. Wow, that night is
I was just going to say, I
bonkers.
just opened that night. Like, what the hell? Why do you listen to us?
Yeah.
Kat has listened to all 109 hours and painted just that night.
So there's two interconnecting stories here, but I think we'll read the Chemist Queen, and we'll leave Little White for maybe another episode. Can we do that?
Yeah, we'll just read the first one.
Yeah.
Sweet.
The Spitting Roach was teeming with gangers and chem workers alike. The tavern abuzz with bravado and swagger, and the zing clunk sounds of a knife throwing contest in the corner. Most hailing from Clan Escher, the people crowding the dark and dingy bar nearly all sported spiked and mohawked, brightly coloured hair, elaborate face paint, and copious facial piercings. Their flamboyant stylings caught the eye like the plumage of a gaggle of ancient tropical birds which had lived before the world became the used-up dung heap it was today. Their colourful appearance belied their true nature, however. These women were dangerous and deadly. Deathcap's Sally kicked up her tall, ornate rat leather boots and downed yet another tankard of the rock gut she'd been drinking all evening. I will just put a caveat out there for the Crystal Labyrinth. I do apologise if I mess up the reading, but already I'm enjoying... I love the imagery that you're creating. So even just the feeling of this bar on Necromunda just makes it feel like the right place to be. And
I definitely want rat leather boots.
Yeah. Oi, Feline, I'll take another, she slurred, nodding to the bartender and slamming the tankard down on the bar. Haven't you had enough? Grumbled Feline, almost annoyed. But she knew Deathcap Sally, the Chemist Queen, was more than good for the credits, and that she'd held her liquor far better than she let on. So she obliged. Sally was a bit of an enigma around here, a gang queen, ex-wild runner, ex-chemist, with a booming business in gene-spliced exotic beasts for the noble houses, and a rare and mysterious Underhive spore snuff. She seemed to both fit in and be entirely out of place in all levels of the hive, both well-connected and shunning society to hunt monsters and run questionable experiments down hive. A mad genius who, quite frankly, would rather be alone than with her gang. But alone in the Underhive isn't just bad business, it's dead. Sally took the drink and turned to the young woman next to her. The difference between them was striking. Sally was far older, though she did use some anti-aging chems which made the difference in aging less obvious. Her hair was a long shock of blue-white that stuck straight up, and she wore bulky goggles. Her face was doubly scarred, both from experiments with dangerous chemical agents and from years of scouring the Underhive for suitable creatures for her work. The younger ganger, called Little White, was diminutive in stature, with a wide-eyed pretty face and pale blonde hair swept up in an elaborately curled and styled coiffure. I don't even know what that is. Coiffure? I don't know. She looked far less worse for wear than any other person in the bar. Her clothes, which had once been snow white and clearly tremendously expensive, were a lacy confection of silk and bone courtesy, now splattered like graffiti with the remnants of gore and filth of the Underhive. Her efforts to fit in among the Eschers were only apparent from a single blue streak of hair framing her face, a shining stud on her nose, and dramatic spiked knee-high boots in the Escher style, fully visible through the tattered remains of what once had been a voluminous long skirt. Beautiful writing. I probably am butchering it, but it is absolutely beautiful writing, and I have the image of Little White completely wedged into my brain. I can see this character. I can see her as a bounty hunter, as a dramatis personae, as something that belongs deep in the guts of Necromunda.
But you can already tell the difference.
Yes.
in the way she's being described, where she's close, and you or I, or maybe not you, you're around Escher all the time, but your regular person would see them together and be like, they're both clearly Escher, but Escher look at this and go, I can see the difference in the way you two are dressed, you know?
Yeah.
You're trying to look like one of us, but it's different.
Yeah, I really like that sound. Yeah, it's like you're a mimic. You're a mimic of what you think you can or want to be like us, but you didn't earn your first scar, under the age of 10. You came down Hive and decided to play around without your Spire suit.
Oh, yes.
All right, I'll continue on with it. So you're telling me that your uncle is no good for it then, White? After everything we've been through for this? Sally took another gulp, looking agitated. That's not what I'm saying, Sal. I just need more time, White whined. This is hardly standard procedure. The House Ulanti is facing political pressures that you don't even understand. Ugh. I understand them plenty. I just prefer to stick to what I do best, and that's beasts and spores and credits galore, which is the only reason I let your spoiled, dainty ass stay down here with me in the first place, Sally growled. So you can see the beautiful relationship establishing, and I mean, these two have got to be like your Carl Jericho and Scabs, but in reverse. Yes. You know what I mean? So Sally's is the Carl Jericho of the relationship, and White is clearly like the Scabs. Maybe has a strength 10 digilaser in a special House Ulanti ring on her finger or something along those lines. Something really cool as she pops out.
Yes.
White's face darkened and her hand shifted to the plasma pistol at her hip. But Deathcap Sally was much faster, even several drinks in, and had her own pistol at the girl's temple with a wry smirk before she could even get a hand on the gun. Enough of that, White. Just figures they had to send me Yolante's biggest brat as an outcast assassin bait, hobby ganger go-between. You're lucky I put up with your shenanigans. Just don't forget who taught you how to survive down here. White rolled her eyes and took a hand off her weapon. Their playful spat was interrupted as a fight broke out on the other side of the tavern. Two Jews from different gangs, from the looks of their clothing, the howling banshees and the viper's tongues were screeching at one another, accusing the other of cheating at knife-throwing contest they'd both been betting on. Within seconds, it ended with a knife in the eye of the banshee Juve, and her lifeless body crumbled to the floor. Blood oozed out, and Philippine shouted for them to clean up their damn mess. The body was dragged out and disposed of, and everything went back to the normal state of relative tension and distrust between the sister gangs of House Escher. Deathcap Sally shrugged nonchalantly. Where were we? Sal, I've got 'em. Let's go before anyone notices, came a frantic whisper from a young wild runner that had just entered the bar. She was rough and strong, with a shock of lime green hair and two hissing, spitting phalanxes padding along at her side, one green and one purplish pink. The little feline reptilian hybrids were bonded to her like children. They never left her side. Good, Sal replied quietly, her calculating eyes scanning the room for anyone who might have overheard or pose a threat to their operation. She paid Philippine for the drinks, and she, Little White, and the green-haired wild runner named Panther Cat Polly left the spitting roach surreptitiously. They slipped out into the alleyway. Across from them was a supply outpost, and they could see beyond that were cargo crates covered with ratty grey cloth. In the crates were their cargo, rare beasts worth a fortune in credits. But according to Little White, now they had no buyer. Sitting on a fortune out in the open, they were sitting ducks. They had to find a place to hide out until their Ulanti contact came through for them and try to stay alive in the process. So this is a different take on what we asked for.
Wrong. That was goddamn sick.
It was brilliant, yes. But it is a different take. And this is something that we mentioned, everybody. We wanted all different types of lore. And I love this because it's reading a short story. And we won't go into the more depth about Little White at the moment because we just wanted to focus on this part of it. But mate, if that doesn't take you to the mindset of wanting to build an Escher gang, forget the Escher gang, build an Escher bar.
Oh,
You know,
man.
with, scattered knives on the ground, a board like a Goliath head on there with knives wedged through it and so forth. All these different types of elixirs and potions on the back, a little chemist, I don't know, you'd call it like a hooker lounge. You know what I'm talking about? But run by the chemists, so just so they can go and embrace whatever.
What's it called? It's a hookah.
Hookah, that's it, yeah.
Hookah, like shisha bars.
Yeah, shisha bar, like that, but that in the corner. So, as I was saying, the interaction between the two is like very much a Carl Jericho and Scabs type thing. And then you have one of the most beautifully named characters from here, Panther Cat Polly. Just wonderful.
The naming, the way Cat has written this, the description for everything is just insane. And Little White, I've looked at Little White and it's 11 pages. I want to do an episode just on that writing because
maybe we can do it. Maybe we can just have something like a little short readout if Kat's happy for us to do it in connection with the story and just maybe read both at the same time.
Have you seen in the email the model she's done for Little White?
Yeah.
It's
beautiful.
Lady Credo.
Yeah.
And just this super simple conversion and this white sort of whitey blue dress with the faded finery and the big
what she captured beautifully is that she doesn't belong.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. She does not belong where she is.
She's grubby, she's dirty, she's been definitely kissed by the Underhive, but overall she doesn't look like she belongs where she is. And that model does that quite beautifully, but the paint job is what really helps carry that across as well. So
yeah.
I am very much wanting to see what happens with these two characters. I'm invested heavily in Panther Cat Polly for some reason. The other two,
she just wanders on in. It's oh hey, we gotta get out of here.
Yeah, I got a couple of phalanxes with me, and let's rock and roll. Like the two main characters, love. Don't get me wrong, and I as I said, I would love to do more with Little White in a future episode, or on one of our platforms. We'll work out how to get that information out to everybody. But for the inspiration, this takes you to true House Escher, and that interaction with the two Jews fighting each other, it shows you something that doesn't always get spoken about, is that, they don't get along. You know what I mean? They are under the house, but they're not under the same gang. Where all have it perfectly right. Like protect your house, protect your gang before you protect your house. So, I'm very much engaged with seeing where Little White ends up and what exactly they're going to do to sell off their gear. So, to give you some feedback, Kat, loved it. Absolutely loved it. And I need to think of what we're going to do for a prize.
I actually have one.
Do you really?
Some negative I want to bring in there.
Oh, negative.
Didn't mention Van Sar at all.
Oh no, that's the positive.
Could have mentioned some. Could have mentioned a little bit of Van Sar at any point there.
No,
you've let you've let the podcast go.
I think that would be a negative. Mate.
Nothing fantastic. I loved it. But if Cat wins, what the heck? All right, let's think about the gang. They are Escher. They are separate from the house.
Yes.
And, the gang, their leader is how did I describe it? a gang queen, ex-wild runner, ex-chemist with a booming business in gene-spliced exotic beasts for the noble houses and a rare and mysterious Underhive spore snuff.
Yeah, the spore
Damn.
snuff actually sounded quite interesting, to be honest.
Yeah, like, this is a hard one. I want to go
Like,
a
you could
little
almost
bit
just go...
left of centre.
Okay, yeah, I'm thinking you could almost just go straight up Escher. Do you know what I mean? Like, a gang box of Escher would suit everything. But, yeah, I want to hear your left of centre, actually. No, throw me your left of centre first.
The Shard Speaker of Slanesh from Age of Sigma.
Right. Right.
Like, the pose there reminds me of almost a somewhat more mystical version of the are they the Shivers?
Yeah.
But
yeah.
you put this in the gang as almost like a noble courtier or like a noble connection between the gang and, was it House Yolante or maybe a mysterious other house that ends up purchasing those beasts? Or that would also make a really cool, I was about to call it a death hag. No, a very cool, what are they called? The
Death Maiden?
Death Maiden.
Oh,
Death
right.
Hag.
Sorry. I was thinking Death Hag. You got death there, but surely. Yeah, I could definitely see that being used as a Death Maiden, for sure.
I'm also now sort of looking at what you said there and just those wild runners just for the beasties. Like,
yeah, and look, the only other option I thought of, just because they're really cool, and it was something that I wanted to incorporate in Escher Gang a long time ago, were the Blissbarb Archers from the Slanesh range.
Oh, nice. Yes.
But I sort of feel like these are standard Escher in a way as well. Do you know what I mean? Like you just bang a few armor plates on them and they're fine. So yeah, I really see these two characters. Like, Polly messes it up because that's like a third character. Do you know what I mean? So
I immediately need more Polly.
Yeah,
like, I just need more Polly.
Yeah, I know. Do you know what? I think I'm going to circle back to something that we know is reliable. The Wild Runner box set is
Wild Runners.
Yeah, I think so, because that incorporates Polly into it. But it also, there's so much going on with those Death Maiden miniatures, like, that you can really draw a lot of inspiration from them and really use them to create Sally. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Really take them down the pathway, because Kat was fantastic enough to include some artwork of what she imagined Sally would look like. And, you know, she's in a long overcoat, sort of almost a Deliquescent style overcoat. So it's a little bit more of a difficult one to get, but I think the Death Maidens would add just a few little bits and bobs, but also I think having the Fear Cats as well. It's just another thing that, you know, she deals in exotic beasts, so surely she would have that as well.
Those Blissbarb Archers would make awesome Wild Runners with bows.
They would, wouldn't they?
Oh, they would.
Don't tempt me. Don't.
Yeah, but no, it's got to be the Wild Runners because of the beasties.
The beasties
They
and the Death Maidens. Yes,
we're talking about beasties.
Yeah.
All right, beasties.
Beasties.
Yeah, cool.
Blissbarb Archers are cool though, aren't they?
Yeah, I might actually start a Slanesher gang.
Righto. That'll look cool.
Yeah.
All right, so we probably should motor along a little bit here.
Yes.
Otherwise, we'll just get drawn into our own gang ideas. What is your next bit of lore, brother?
This one here comes to, and this is my final one before your final one, and then the
Patreon.
This was hard because it came down to this one and another one. But I ended up going with this because of something that happened during this little read. This is only a little short one, but it's not what was said, but it's what was implied. Now, this is a cartel gang by the name of the Black Moon. Now, a gathering of houseless scum, the Black Moon made their own way, bringing in outcasts, criminals, solo haulers, and all manner of proxies and traitors. They formed a collective for mutual support, already very reminiscent of Narco Lord and founder of the Free State of Zep, Narco Lord Balthazar Van Zep, and his black.
Oh, what were they called?
Like the Black League or something like that. You watch it. I don't even remember.
I'm going to leave you. I'm not going to even try and help you here because this could be a correction for you. So, yeah, Sam, you're calling them the Black League? Excellent. Good to know.
No, they are the no, I don't remember. I'm gonna call them like the Black League.
Correct away, people.
Yeah, definitely get corrected. But the trade and propagandist elements, as shady as they were, relying on the sharpshooters and stealthy killers of the more militant members for protection. Dodgy back alley deals watched over by a long rifle and a hidden blade. Narco trades protected by nondescript gunmen who could melt back into the population. As their numbers grew and their name became known in certain circles, they were hired by Escher chem houses to defend and enforce ownership of the Ghast farms. The operatives of the Black Moon became double agents when House Delark offered them kickbacks for allowing their harvesting teams entry and cover. So already, they've decided double-crossing Escher for House Delark.
Yes.
I'm just like, and I love the way Craig describes them here. Nondescript gunmen who just melt back into the population. I love this so far. Now, for a while, this worked in their favour, taking payment from both houses for the same job, as well as maintaining access to both legal and illegal chems for their street traders. That is, until they were discovered by a group of wild runner youths while helping out the Delark steal a month's worth of Ghast from a huge grow site. It took a few cycles for news to travel and the Escher to organise, but they came in force. Many of the traders known to be Black Moon affiliates were executed. Some of the proxies and black marketeers escaped, and the Black Moon was driven out of Hive Primus. For a time without permanent employment, they moved from job to job, hunting, killing, stealing, surviving. The Black Moon made their way across the Palatine Plateau and ended up in Hive Trezea, where easy access to the wastes and roads gave them the start they needed. Raiding rivals and watching over their own interests, they appeared on Narco Lord Curtis Warren's radar. His interest was piqued by the Black Moon, as they downed the leadership of an Escher gang and stole a shipment of chems bound for the Minerva cluster, and sold it to the highest bidder. With careful coercion, Curtis folded the Black Moon into his own operation, so that now their traders sell his chems, and their enforcers protect the interest of both.
Yeah.
That is sick.
Do you know what I love? What Craig did with these guys is he gave them like a really quite, rich history in just that small little bit of craziness that they decided to do of becoming double agents. And like not just double agents of like a trader or maybe a guild house, but two actual clan houses. They're like, oh yeah, we'll play these off against each other.
But I also love the fact that it was just like, oh yeah, they're pretty smart. They've gone and done this. oh wait, no, they done goofed, and they have what's the word I'm looking for? They have just been slapped. They've been smacked down, and
absolutely.
they've been forced to flee. Like they've gone from this position of power with the Escher, where they're like, "Yep, we're muscle now. We're muscle. We've got our little side hustles going on." It's the Black Network. It's not the. It's the Black Network. Balthazar Vanzet is the Black Network.
I was going to
Damn
say.
it. What did I call them?
The Black League.
The Black League.
Yeah.
They're both pretty good.
Yeah.
It's Black Network. Yeah, but then he's given them this fault where, you know, they've been, like hoisted on their own petard.
Yeah.
And it's almost forced them to become lesser so quickly.
Yeah.
And then it's this new narco lord has just been like, was it Curtis Warren? And he's folded them in, not because he necessarily needs them, but he's instantly recruiting this group who are skilled, who are driven, and who already know the industry. So he's not doing it to help them. He's doing it because he's just like,
why would I not recruit them?
I immediately get skilled soldiers without any real effort.
Yeah, but
like, I love it.
The thing about them as well is that he knows they're happy to go toe to toe with the clan houses as well.
Yeah,
like push comes to shove, they shoot. So that's like you're looking at the Black Moon, and they're just like, okay, yeah, you're a clan house, but we are a collection, a collective of individuals with one mindset, and that is we end up on top. So kill, steal, survive. That's our mantra. You know, we will take you down no matter what badge you're wearing. You could come down here in big yellow armor and a massive bolt gun and probably land in a drop pod, but you just landed in the backyard of the Black Moon. Boo.
Boo.
Yeah, it had to be in this episode. But you could have...
We didn't get any Imperial Fist lore, just quickly. Boo.
Boo. Yeah.
And I'm shocked. I'm
happy. I'm shocked. I'm happily surprised. I'll put it that way.
Yeah. Sorry, continue.
But yeah, you imagine anything that would come into the backyard of the Black Moon, just be like, we will take you down, or we will funnel you towards somebody we don't like, and you can go fight them for a bit. They are unscrupulous, and they're, you know, the fact that they can try and double dip. You know, with the clan houses, I know some tradies who are like that, absolute shockers, and they would fit in perfectly. Yes, they would fit in perfectly with the Black Moon.
I was like, he's definitely talking about me.
Yeah.
I'm not unscrupulous. I have many scruples.
A drawer full of scruples, but
a drawer full of scruples.
I see these guys as almost elite. Do you know what I mean? Like I don't see them as like just hive scum gathered together. These are almost like trained operatives. You know, so they take their time to recruit the best people. They take their time to create a group and a gang that is just incredibly deadly in all respects. But they're more than just a gang. Like, as you say, you know, in the writing, how Escher, the forces of Escher moved in and just like killed all the proxies and the black marketers and any of their affiliates. So they become this network, you know, where they have a militant arm, which is, you know, the gang itself, the Black Moon. But the Black Moon itself is a full network of people who are able to get what you want, people who can get rid of stuff you don't want, people who can, you know, get things off world. And it's just this huge interconnected thing that is all, you know, governed almost by like a council of the Black Moon, you know, like they're not just, I see like almost like a brotherhood of the survivors when they were first wiped out by the Escher, but they've gone, we don't just get revenge here. We learn what happened to us. We didn't have a giant overhanging protection in the form of a clan house. So now that's why they're linked with Narco Lord Curtis Warren. Because they go, when the gang houses come for us now, the Black Moon, through its tides, through its, support of the Narco Lord, has a form of protection. Maybe they might need to sacrifice 10 members, but their small little council, their Black Council, understands that and says, that's fine. That keeps the Black Moon running. That keeps our operation running. And Curtis would do that. Curtis would say, I want you guys running, because it's exactly what you said. He does not have to commit anything to making sure this group of soldiers maintains his interests.
Oh, man, yeah,
I've taken it a bit, but,
Yeah, I'm loving that idea of them being soldiers underneath this council of their own. So, like, almost like a paramilitary organisation.
Exactly.
They still have their officers and that sort of thing, but they know at the end of the day, their officers, although they report to, Curtis?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, they still recognise themselves as something separate.
Yep.
Oh, man.
So their interactions with the other gangs under Curtis, or the other scummers and whatever, is very limited. They're just like, yep, that's cool. You can go off and be whatever you want to be. This is us.
Yeah. Damn, I love that.
So, yeah, that's my mindset on how I think they would work, how I think they would potentially operate.
Okay. Damn. That's given me a couple of ideas for a gang now. Okay. So, miniatures. I want to say something dumb here.
Go for it.
And I'm going to say, I'm going back to Kill Team here.
Yep.
All right. And I want to get the proper name for them.
It'd be interesting if you say the same one as me, because I'm looking at one right now.
Okay, so it is the... where is it? Here it is. The Legionnaires, the Chaos Space Marines. I really want to take this to the next level and say, let's just make them Astartes. No, I'm kidding. The Blooded.
The Blooded?
The Blooded Kill Team really play up on the aspect of them being the paramilitary soldiers of the Black Moon. Like, yes, you're going to have a bunch of chaos icons and that, but look at them. There's the sniper. They've got different style lass weapons. They've got blades. There's that butcher with the two cleavers. Like, you've got a great mix of obvious soldiers and then guys who have picked up like a breastplate and hammered a piece of metal onto it. The sheer... I've got this kit, and this kit has like 40 heads or something.
This I love. I was going to say the Elucidan Starstriders, because they've got that militaristic look about them. No.
Yes.
Forget that. This works a million times better, because this is what they would look like. They would still be an organised paramilitary type force, but they would definitely have that loosey-goosey Necromunda feel to them.
Yeah, but like also like you've got the guy with the club. They've all got like real battled, smashed armor and weaponry.
No, but the vibe that I get off this is like the weapons are all cool and so forth, but the vibe I get off it is that we all have to look the same, guys, but we understand what Necromunda does to you. So if you've got a steel plate with some spikes on it, we understand that's probably where you got stabbed through your armor last time, so you decide to cover it up with some angry armor,
Yes,
so
yes.
we get that you do that. Oh, you're running around with a chainmail mask because last time you copped some fragmentation that ripped apart your chin or something like that. Totally understand.
Yes.
So there's this flexibility in this nature that you're allowed to have a little bit of individualism with your armor, because we understand this is Necromunda. But at the end of the day, as a collective, as a group, you would see them all standing together and go, oh, that's the Black Moon. and we need to not mess with them.
Yeah. Oh man. Okay. You've given a hell of a lot of new life to my
Yeah.
idea.
No, I see that. This is it.
Okay.
This is it. This is the winner. There's nothing else I see for them because it would not take much to make these guys look a little bit more uniform, and conversely, would not take much to make them look even more necromundan. No.
Yeah.
Winners, well done. Excellent choice, Sam. Excellent choice.
I don't know who I want to win.
No, neither do I.
Okay. Well, you've got one more.
I do.
Let's hear it.
Okay.
I'm excited.
So this is from David Gething. Spamule and Nathan. 5 entries into the anniversary lore competition consolidated into a Word document. I haven't gotten to the end of the last episode yet, so apologies if there's some detail explained that I failed to comply with, but I wanted to make sure I got this submitted. Loving the show. Please keep up the good work. I read all of that just so I could read the loving the show. Please keep up the good work. I'm telling
That's
you,
fair.
I have an ego enough that if anybody out there says, "Hey guys, good work," I'm like, "Oh, they love me." Yeah.
Hey guys, good work. BT Dubs, hate you both.
Yeah.
I remember the first part.
Exactly.
Okay, well, David, you're not getting 5 prizes.
No.
You can have 1 prize if you win.
So it's something that we mentioned even with Cats One, and we'd mentioned in earlier episodes. We will be coming back to this stuff because we love it and we want people to hear more about it. And in saying that, I'm just going to read out the titles of each one of David's little bits of lore as little tasters that we'll come back to at some point in the not too distant future. Alborex Guild-sanctioned trading company. 5 miniatures, look amazing, well done. Servo Skull 86RH13, aka Mr. Hat. This is Mr. Hat is just a work of genius, but I gotta say I couldn't quite derive a gang from it, so I did push.
I'm just gonna open this really quickly.
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. It's straight up a Servo Skull with a badass hat.
Yeah, it is. It's like a Mordian
pistol
or Commissar.
I could come up with a gang with Mr. Hat. Read it. I'm gonna read it, and I'm gonna come up with.
No, Mr. Hat is not the one I've chosen though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, Daughter Superior Virginia, which is a redemptionist sort of character, which is quite cool. And Lily and Rose. These are 2 other smaller, like very, very steampunk-looking type characters. But then my favourite here, PDF Captain Horatio Wodehouse Walpole III and Laptus the Ogren. I will admit, Horatio is the first. Yeah, that kind of won me over a little bit. I was like, "Oh, Horatio, what are you doing here?" But I'll get into the read for this one. Horatio Woodhouse Walpole III is the 6th son of a middling senior noble subhouse. Noble families don't let their children join the meat grinder that is the Imperial Guard, but a low-risk, largely ceremonial role in the PDF has a certain cachet to it. Consequently, highborn sons and daughters too junior to take over the family business or go into politics, and temperamentally unsuited for the ecclesiarchy, often have commissions purchased for them in the PDF. Now, I love this because it's Guard, but it's like the Guard that...
It's Guard Light.
It's Guard Light, exactly. The general understanding is that such officers are largely kept away from any real work and occupy the profusion of ceremonial roles established for them. Captain Walpole, however, has shown a surprising aptitude for the more regular PDF officer roles, and it is a source of minor societal scandal that gets his hands dirty doing actual soldiering. Nonetheless, he has really thrown himself into it and enjoys the opportunities for protecting the populace from malcontents and ne'er-do-wells. In saying that, where it says protecting the populace, there is crossed out oppressing the populace, which I'm assuming is what he actually does. So I just want to talk a little bit here about Horatio, Captain Horatio. I love this because we're talking about a section of the nobility that nobody really cares about. You know, it's the what is it? A senior noble sub house. Like it's something that is not even a footnote in any history book of the Imperium. It's all about, you know, the imperial house, the noble houses, the clan houses, the guild houses. Whereas the Woad House Walpole is, who are they? What are they? You know, but this is a son who has decided, I've got to make something for myself, and has gone, you know, been given his role, but has decided to take it on board and really just go hell for leather, stomping out faces and oppressing the populace, and just proving to everybody that the PDF does have a role to play. You know, it's not all the glory goes to the Guard, and there's no longer a wall really to defend at Secundus, so we've got to find something else to do with our time, and that is beating up all
the peasants.
The peasants, basically, yeah.
just punishing the drudges, but on a planetary scale.
Exactly. And by
You're
drudges,
a drudge now. I'm not a drudge. Yeah. Quiet drudge.
Yeah.
Pop, pop, pop.
Exactly. So exactly, yeah. Just beating up everybody who just even slightly decides that they need some form of freedom. So I'll go into the...
I'm a huge fan of this idea.
I love it. And I have a gang idea from it as well. So we'll go into the Ogren. Eaptus the Ogren. Whilst he enjoys getting out in the streets with his soldiers, Horatio doesn't shy away from flaunting his wealth. As such, he pays for his own bodyguard, drawn from the Woad House Walpole's stable of Ogren staff.
Just quickly though, he pays for his own bodyguard. Yeah. Asterisk, well, his family pays.
And double asterisk again, indentured servants, aka prisoners with jobs. That's where Eaptus actually comes from. Eaptus is not technically on the PDF's books, but the Woad House Walpoles are powerful enough that no one's going to say anything. Initial attempts to arm Eaptus with a .5 bore sawn-off shotgun resulted in invariably forgetting to fire and just using it as a club, often going off in the process with sometimes hilarious results. Giving up on firearms, Horatio tried giving Eaptus a variety of heavy sabres and maces, but he would keep losing them on patrol and reverting to a spade he used as a garden labourer on the family estates. I'm not going to lie here. When I read garden labourer, this bit of the law, out of all of his 5, this is the one that just went, he's a garden labourer Ogren. Like, he is cool.
He's not picking out weeds. He's ripping out stumps.
Exactly. Yeah. And by gardener, they just mean the guy who punches out all the necromundan-sized squirrels that turn up to their garden.
Oh,
yeah.
Squirrels.
Despite the old spade lacking suitable military bearing, sometimes it's just not worth trying to take away an Ogren's favourite toy. Besides, with Ogren's strength behind the swing, the spade is about as effective a melee weapon as one could wish for. So
I love it.
These two I love, and for me, they are the crux of the beginning of a gang. They just need that push. You know, this is your servitor Ogren, or your slave Ogren, whatever you want to add to your gang, and he's actually done up the miniatures for them. So and they look amazing. They look absolutely brilliant. You've got a fully armoured Ogren who just looks like something almost out of a nightmare. The only thing I would have loved to see is just a little gardening supply bag on him, or just a little packet of seeds or something. Or just
a little bottle of Roundup he can
there
take occasional swigs from.
Yeah. It's just a little shout out to his former life as the estate gardener. But what drew me to this is the PDF and the idea of having Horatio's PDF unit going around and just fulfilling out his wishes. Has nothing to do with the actual missions that the PDF need to be doing. But it's boys, we're going on a training operation this afternoon. Oh yeah, where are we going? Well, we're going to go to one of the lucky 6s because there's somebody there who owes the PDF a lot of money. And so we've got to do
We have to
an
go
engagement.
collect.
Yeah, we're going to go to a
Yes.
collectment engagement. And it'll be training, but we're packing live ammo. So don't be afraid to use it. So
Yes,
that's why I see this guy.
okay.
And do you know what kills me is I have an idea for his gang, but you've kind of already mentioned the box. So it's taken it away.
What is it?
What's the Kriegsman? The veteran guardsman Kriegsbock that kills me.
Oh,
They would suit these guys so beautifully. And I've always thought about how do you run lots of las guns in a gang? Well, you run Escher or Van Sar, right?
Escher or Van Sar.
So you can run your Kriegsman as Escher. Loads and loads of las guns. You get the plasma weapon in there. You get the long las. But most importantly, they're PDF soldiers, yeah? So what are they doing with their time when they've got nothing to do? They're not praying. Drugs. Exactly.
Drugs.
They are hitting up the chems. So Horatio he's got his special unit. Did you ever see the movie Heartbreak Ridge? I think it was called. It was a Clint Eastwood movie. No,
No,
too young for that.
No,
Anyway, he jumps in on this unit, and he's like this hard ass drill sergeant, and he jumps in on this unit.
yes, I have.
Yeah.
And they're like wearing sunglasses
Yeah.
and they're out of uniform. And
Yeah, I can't remember if it was called Heartbreak Ridge or it was Heartbreak something. I think I remember. I saw it many, many years ago. This is what I imagine Horatio's like. He knows, but he doesn't try and make them any better because he knows he can rely on them to be sus, provided he gives them the right quantity of extra recreational activities to do. You know?
Okay.
So-
That Kriegsman box suits. I want to go the opposite way though.
Yeah, go on.
I'm talking Kazakin
That was my other option.
because Horatio's he's got that family money. He's already paying for an Ogren bodyguard.
Wow. Yeah.
So he's gone to, cousin Timmy. And I've forgotten all other names again. I hate this about my stupid brain. He's gone to cousin Timmy and is like, Timmy, your section of the family, you make flak jackets for the guard, don't you? And he's like, of course we do. He's like, I want you to give me some of those nice flak jackets.
Yeah,
And
right.
he gets them.
Yeah.
And he goes, I want some. So I'd basically take the Kazakin because they are bigger, they are more imposing. And then I'd lose the backpacks. And
Lose the backpacks
but so many of them have like the sunglasses and that sort of thing. They're just a little bit cockier. Like you'd really mix up the helmets with various gang heads, probably a lot of Orlok heads.
Yeah.
Make them look a little bit low tech in that respect. And I wouldn't use a lot of the weapons, but I would use the bodies and legs because they are more imposing. And then I would replace the Kazakin backpacks with a mix of like the old Cadian backpacks, current Cadian backpacks, changing it there. So they've got that sort of PDF. We're grabbing stuff on the way. Definitely not stealing it, but we're also we're requisitioning. We are requisitioning.
Yes, I actually really love that of them just all having their own little pouches and backpacks where, like, even just like bum bags and slings that go over them, where they're just constant. Like they walk into a bar and they're just like, oh, I'll just grab that glass, I'll grab this, and I'll tuck it into my pocket. And anybody who questions them, well, there's it's 9 other PDF soldiers you're also going to be dealing with as well.
Actually, no, sorry, I'm wrong. No, David isn't getting a prize. Because David sent me a message a little while ago saying that he really liked your dolphin or porpoise joke from the Orlok episode. So, no, screw you, David. You get nothing. Yeah. So, no, I'm
no, Sam. Then what was the purpose of reading out his lore?
Oh,
yes, you're welcome, David. You're welcome.
He loves your puns, and It hurts me. Also, you know what? Genghis did give us the idea for Horatio Valentino.
Oh.
Actually, no. Mrs. Genghis did. Mrs. Genghis gave us...
Oh, that's where Horatio...
Genghis, yeah.
I did not realise that.
Yeah,
Oh,
Mrs. David did. So Mrs. David can have Kazakin if David wins.
Do you know what? I approve that idea because Horatio Valentino is certainly the greater of the Horatios when it comes to Captain Horatio or Horatio Valentino.
And this PDF fella is a poor man's Horatio in comparison to the glory.
Do you ever
of
think he's
Horatio
tried
Valentino.
to emulate Horatio Valentino? Like he's gone, yeah, I'm the actual Horatio. And then he's realised what he has to do. He's just like, oh, I'm getting very much outside of my realm of comfort here. I'm going to...
And then he hires an Ogren to beat up all other Horatios.
Who then subsequently falls in love with Horatio Valentino. And the novel spawns of Chased in the Night by an Ogren.
Hey, we've all... an Ogren in the Night.
An Ogren in the Night.
Horatio Valentino adventure.
Yeah.
Wait, we've all fallen in love with Horatio Valentino. Hey, we're only abhuman.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
exactly.
saying?
Exactly. It's the first line of the book.
Yeah.
No,
So-
I'm going to Kazakin because I like it. I like my idea of like a crazy group, but as I said, like I see them as PDF, and this suits them better. You know, they look more like soldiers. Like that, there's a certain aesthetic to the Kriegs, the Death Corps of Krieg, that can be very hard to break away from. So seeing these guys, they would look like a soldiering force that has got just a little bit too much noble money backing them. Yeah.
Yes, and that's it. I think it's because they've got that noble cash backing them. And, you know, you've got the melter guns, the plasma gun, the sniper rifle.
Yeah.
That to me says I've got noble money.
Yeah.
Getting me this gear. Yeah, I'm PDF, but you know, we're part of Horatio's crew.
Yeah, and they're like,
we get the best of the best. We're not guardsmen.
Yeah.
But we get the best of the
Yeah,
best.
exactly. So how much time did you guys serve at Secundus? We did not. You know.
we did not. We served at his summer holiday on the Eye of Selene.
Yeah, exactly.
Old Jimothy over there did 74 shots of alcohol before his liver literally burned, and they had to replace it with 3 paper clips and a rubber band.
Yeah, but he's still alive. Or
He's still alive.
he's becoming a servitor. We're not 100% sure. We haven't cleared that up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really want, again, as saying with what we did with cats, I really want to take these ideas and continue with them in later episodes. So, and this goes for everybody who unfortunately didn't get rid out. We will continue with this because we have loved it so much. It has meant so much to us.
Yeah. We've read 6 so far, so we have 61 others to go.
Well, I mean...
Which would have actually been more than that because I didn't realise Genghis had 5 in there.
That's what I was just about to say. Like, there's some of them that have got multiple entries in the one email.
72. So too many of you sent us.
Okay,
lore.
we're going back for that one. Yeah. Did you want to move on?
Low-hanging fruit. Okay, so we'll read our Patreon ones.
Yep.
And we'll pick it. Then we'll just pick a winner from the Patreon ones, and then we'll pick the winner from the other 6 we've read.
Yeah. All right. Sounds like a plan.
All right. Cool.
All right. I want to read my Patreon one first because I like my one the best. And do you know what? I deserve to take some control in this show. You stuttering Samuel. That was an S word.
Stuttering Samuel Spamuel. That was honestly worse than your porpoise joke.
Okay, well, that hurts both
Genghis loved it.
me and Genghis. Both of us are hurt by that. All right, so we'll go to our Patreon winner, and it is from Simon Church, and it is the Sectarium Enforcers.
You prick.
Excuse me, G-rated show.
I said prick. This is the one I picked for the Patreon.
Did you really?
Yes!
Oh, wow.
Because of Because of that last line.
Oh, I didn't pick it because of the last line. I picked it from that first little box of actual Necromunda lore.
Yeah.
My wordy lord. Amazing.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, you...
I want to read that first bit,
Yeah,
and then
you read that.
you read the next bit, and
Yeah.
maybe we'll mix it up and just confuse everybody. We'll see how we go.
I love it.
So, actually, this is addressed just to you. Spamuel. He's not winning anything now. I didn't notice it was just addressed to you.
Fine, just skip that part and just read from Lorekeepers so it's more inclusive.
Oh, it does say Lorekeepers. Lorekeepers. This is my favourite bit of lore. Especially as the sectarian enforcers are only mentioned in the Book of Outcasts and not referenced in any other information related to Secundus. Far more troubling for the Imperial House are anarchs, who represent organisations who were destroyed or disbanded by the order of Lord Helmore. The sectarian enforcers represented the might of Lord Helmore's rule in Hive Secundus and were in constant competition with the Palanite enforcers for the title of most prestigious arm of the Imperial House's authority. When Hive Secundus fell to the Xenos cults, the blame was laid at the feet of the sectarian, some even going so far as to claim the enforcers were in league with the cults. Surviving sectarian officers and troopers had their ranks stripped from them and were cast out from the hives to die. Though many did, many more went into hiding, and decades later the sectarian are an outcast paramilitary organisation who keep the traditions of their predecessors alive, hoping to one day redeem themselves in the eyes of the Imperial House. They are...
Okay, just miniature idea, just Kriegsman.
Yeah.
Kriegsman. No.
Do you know when I first read that, I thought to myself, it's like a collective of Ronin. You know,
Yes.
samurai without masters. And they're looking for a way to still be good cops. Still be, we are better than the Palanites. We are what Lord Helmore needs, but just doesn't understand who we are or what we are and how we can be of best advantage to him.
Yeah, but it's just so good about how it describes them, where they are literally just the regular enforcers from Hive Secundus, and the blame for all of it has been put on them.
Yeah.
And they've gone from being law and order to literally being outlaws or anarchs, as it describes in the Book of the Outcasts, as a different type of outcast. And Simon
I do love that they
smashes it with this.
Yeah, sorry, I just one last thing about that. They were cast out from the hives to die. So pretty much like standard Necromunda fare. Yeah. Go out into the waste.
Kick him out.
Kick him out, lock the doors. Yeah, kick him out, lock the doors. That's it. Yeah. Anyway, go through with...
Flee into the waste, never to be seen again.
There you go. Yeah.
So, firstly, I love the fact that Simon has thrown in hashtag gang idea.
I did see that. It's brilliant, isn't it?
And he says, firstly, I think this is the only mention of a different enforcer force to the Palanite enforcers, the sectarian enforcers, and that is just cool in itself. Now, can you imagine a sectarian enforcer captain in Secundus when it's all going down? He knows the hive is quarantined. He knows something bad is happening, as everyone else does. As the doors get locked and people start getting gassed, love it, he assembles around him a new crew of people. These people range from gangers with weapons to child orphans to factorial workers, all of them looking to the white and blue armour of the sectarian enforcers for leadership and guidance. Already, Simon is building, he's built the environment. He's taken stuff we already know, the fall of Hive Secundus, and he's just sprinkling. He's just spritzing you with ideas.
Yeah.
Oh man, you've got this enforcer captain, so obviously you've got other enforcers. But then you got gangers, and you all know what they look like. And you've got child orphans, and factorial workers, He's starting to pull the dregs of society left, and he's saying, come with me, let's go. So I'm going to read this part, and You can. I'll read till. I'll read to a point, then you finish it off because I reckon you're going to do the best on that end part there.
Fair enough.
So, taking charge of the 100 people in his command, he makes a decision to head due south and get as far away from Secundus as possible. Yet that wasn't going to be easy, considering the weird purple cultists with many arms and the beasts armed with claws and teeth. The big bastards took some serious firepower to stop. The journey was tough, incredibly tough, and they lost people along the way. There was Belzer, the massive, friendly, free Ogren, who volunteered to be the rear guard when the collective was moving over the furnace walkways. Last in line, he knew that the massive aberrants could only come at him one at a time on that gangway above the furnace pits. Striking hard with his club, he knew he couldn't defeat them, but he could buy an extra few seconds for the rest of the team to escape. Spreading his arms out wide, he lunged at the lead aberrant, taking him in a death embrace as Belzer and the 3 aberrants on the walkway fell hundreds of feet to their death. I have tears in my eyes.
I love Belzer. I love him. He is the hero we
best
need.
Boy.
He is best boy.
Like,
yeah, big gold shiny star.
Oh man,
I love him.
Like,
what a champion.
Simon, how dare you make me feel feelings?
I kind of. Do you want to mix up each character?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
okay.
Yes.
Yes. Belzer. When I first read Belzer, I was just like, "Oh, you break all of my Astra Militarum heart, and I love you for it."
Yep. You're better than Nordedog, and I said that.
Oh, yes, I do agree. Then there was Jenna, an orphan from Emperor knows where, having made their way into the ventilation ducts to escape the chittering horde. Their way was blocked by the spinning blades of a massive turbine. An engine tech knew where the control panel was, but it was too big to fit through the ventilation ducts to get there. Jenna volunteered and managed to switch the airflow. The resulting change in pressure prevented the door to the control room from being opened, thereby condemning herself to a slow and lonely death of suffocation.
Oh.
Each one of his characters deserves a gold star. Not just a footnote in the history of Secundus, but a monument. Oh, wonderful!
Okay, I want to build a statue of Belzer. I'll put it in my what was it? The luckiest six?
Yes, Belzer holding little Jenna. You know.
Oh. Well,
I've made me sad.
Can't forget about Chris, a gymnast from the circus troupe, displaying incredible dexterity and agility. She scaled the walls and pipes of the Underhive and made a massive leap to grab onto the isolation valve to a damaged plasma conduit. Using all of her strength, she managed to isolate the plasma foe before finally succumbing to fatigue and falling to her death. But at least her sacrifice wasn't in vain, and the way was free for the collective to keep moving towards safety. Like, Simon, you are killing me.
Yeah.
But this is what we're talking about. This is just tiny little bits that you're just sprinkling into your lore, and it's invoking such emotions within us. And these characters are nothing. You've just made them up.
Yeah.
But I'm picturing all of these in my head. I'm picturing Belzer looking back and making sure everyone that was in front of him has gotten away far enough so when he's charged the aberrants and thrown himself and them off those walkways, his final thoughts isn't, "Stop stabbing me, you purple prick."
Yeah.
It's, "I've helped them."
Yeah.
You know, and Jenna, she switched the pressure and stopped, and she's sitting there and she knows, and I'm just picturing her in a corner with her arms around her knees, and she's just saying, it's okay, they're gonna get away.
Yeah.
And you know, the air gets thin, she falls asleep. And Chris, she's pulled it down, she's seen that the plasma flow stopped. She's opened up that path, and the burning in her arms is just too much. And in my mind, she she doesn't fall. She doesn't scream as she falls. She falls silently.
Yeah, exactly. And just with it's a fall of peace. It's I'm at peace because there is a small part of Secundus, a small part of me that will get away. The Secundus I knew and loved is gone, but it is going and may one day return. And it's going because I opened that pathway.
Yes.
Oh, there's more to continue reading with this. Like we don't want to.
There is.
I love those three characters, but anyway, do you hear? Do you hear there? Do you hear there? All secunded enforcers are complicit in the cult arising, and by Lord Helmore's order are now declared excommunicado traitoris. Screamed every Vox station. Looking around his fold, the enforcer captain ripped off his rank slides and promised his posse he'd get them to safety so that he could restore their name and place in society. The mixture of civilian and gangers around him made an oath that they would work to try and restore the name of those in Secundus. They were nuked, gravity bombed, and written from history, but they were still alive and fighting.
Down to 10 people, the motley crew of bedraggled Secundus hivers slowly and carefully approached the walls of the settlement in the wastes. Time had become a blur, and all the enforcer captain knew was that his band had emerged from Secundus to the glassy post-thermonuclear-fired plains and had survived 3 seasons of flame. Narrowly escaping the troops on the newly erected dust wall, they had to fight their way through the tunnels to get out of the Secundus basin. Moving towards the deep wastes, the gang encountered hostile nomads, dangerous terrain, and vicious beasts. Clothed in a wild array of scrap armour, scavenged rad bandages, nomad offcasts, and ancient respirators, the crew moved within shouting distance of the lawless settlement. It was time to stop running. It was time to start regrouping and rebuilding the reputation of the Sectarium enforcers. But for now, they'd be known as Bad Zone enforcers. Hailing the watcher on the wall, the captain asked the name of this settlement in the wastes. This place, called back the watcher, this is Ashwood, stranger. A smile crept across the captain's face. Ashwood, stranger. He liked the sound of that.
How good is
Simon,
that?
you son of that is.
Well done, sir. Chef's kiss. What a beautiful tie-in. Absolute mint. Loved it.
And whether that's the way Games Workshop goes with it, it's this beautiful little Ashwood Stranger. I like the sound of that.
Yeah.
Oh, he's the Ashwood Stranger. Says who?
Says the true law.
says who? You know who says who? Underhive Lorekeepers. We are making it canon. And hey, all I had to do was say it 600 times, and we literally have Timmy Helmore in an official publication.
We actually do. Look, that tie-in, you get engaged with each of the characters he creates, and then the tie-in to the Ashwood Stranger, you just go, this is so beautifully thought out. And just that last bit that I read where they were nuked, gravity bombed, and written out from history, you just know the Secundans have just been under the heel, and yet there's this, this grittiness that says, no, we stay on, we fight on, bring at us what you may. And the fact that they become known as Bad Zone enforcers as well, I'm in love with the way this was written, and and that tie-in just nearly broke me when I read that. I was genius.
I'm still thinking about Belzer.
Yeah, Belzer. He's generally best boy.
So since we both somehow picked
well,
the same Patreon one,
you're winning the Patreon one, so that's
you've won the Patreon. But what are we giving it?
I don't.
What does he get?
I don't.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I want to say enforcers.
But I don't want to say enforcers.
But I don't want to say
because
enforcers.
They're Palanites, and he's not doing Palanites. He's doing bloody secundant. Oh, not secundant. Sorry, the sectarian enforcers.
Oh, then I kind of then want to say nomads for the robes and the rebreathers and that sort of stuff. But they're not it.
I know. That's what I was struggling with this. Enforcers are probably the best way to go, but they need to be just had at with a hobby saw or a pile of green stuff work done to them, because they need to have this character of that kill team. Who are they? The kill team we talked about, the Chaos Kill team,
The Blooded.
the Blooded. They need to look.
Oh no!
They need to look like the Blooded, but look like enforcers.
I kind of want to say the Blooded.
But that Ogren in that box, that's not Belter.
That's not, no. In fact, I want to say the Blooded, but I want to say that if you use that Ogren and you call it Belter, I'm coming after you.
Yeah.
100%. How dare you say his name? Okay, yeah, you know what? Screw it. He gets blooded. I don't care. I think it's great because I'm looking at them again. Mate, I think they're perfect. They're the right mix of haggard and smashed, and you kit bash in with those, you change a couple of heads. Hell, if you have a couple of enforcers and you put some of the blood and stuff like the chainmail face plates and they got like there's the guy there back there with the grenade. He's throwing the grenade. He's got the bandages around his arm. That's those scavenged rad bandages that we were talking about.
Yeah.
Like, a wild array of scrap armor. Dude, it's got to be the Blooded.
I do have another idea to throw at you. Right. Would the sectarian enforcers wear slightly different armor to the Palanite enforcers?
I reckon it'd most likely be the same.
It would be,
but with different colouring. Why? What did you think?
Imperial Navy breeches.
Are you thinking the Imperial Navy breeches?
Yeah.
Let me have a look at those bad boys. Yeah, they are a sick piece of kit.
And then you put Palanite heads on and you dirty them up a bit. Maybe you remove a few Imperial badges and so forth. But, the Blooded are good though, aren't they? The Blooded sort of tick the boxes straight away, don't they?
I hate to say it, it's got to be the Blooded.
Yeah.
Got to be the Blooded.
Yeah, I'm with you. It's the Blooded.
Okay. Oh, all right. Just gonna take a couple of seconds, just think about Belter real quick.
I've got a little drink here. I'll just pour one out for Belter.
Yeah, I miss you, bro.
Yeah. You
obviously, and Jenna and Chris and the
but Belter was the best of us, and even they admit that.
Belter, yeah. Oh,
he was the best of us.
Damn,
it was a big loss.
Yeah. Simon, the fact that we've both managed to pick your entry as sort of like a blind guess, mate, we obviously both loved it. I reckon I read that idea of yours about 36 times, and each time I think I was just building myself up to saying, it's just gonna have to be. It's gonna have to be this. Yeah. All right. Cool. Done.
Oh look, I will say I got lost in the idea, and the three characters, they sucked me in to the lore, but then the Ashwood Stranger bit at the end, just if I had a shadow of a doubt, I was gone. I was lost. I was completely hooked on this lore, and it's brilliantly written and so engaging. Well done. All the lore that we have received has just been so engaging. The ones that we've read out in this episode have really just piqued us, and we love every single one of them. There is no sort of, just, I want to say, we're not trying to just talk it up. We actually really love every single bit of lore that we've read in this episode, and also the other lore that didn't quite make it to this one, but will make it to another episode.
Yeah, honestly, we've sort of talked about it a couple of times in different episodes. I would love to do this every quarter.
Yeah.
Like an episode every 3 months of just, let's just talk about Listen to Lore and, let's just keep it going, because we obviously love reading this. We love getting it from you all.
Yeah.
And we've done 6? If we literally don't get another piece of Listen to Lore said to us, if we do an episode a quarter, we've got, what do we say, figure 72, so 66. So we are good for 11 episodes. We are good for 3 years of Listen to Lore. If you people send us nothing more.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
take
screw
this as
it.
an opportunity to send it through. If we find that we're becoming inundated with so much, I think myself and Sam will sit down and work out a way to get it out there. We'll work out a way. It doesn't have to be in a big, ginormous episode. It could be just something small we release.
Start a new podcast.
Listen to Lore.
Start a new podcast, just Underhive.
Listen to Lore.
Listen to Lorekeepers.
Perfect. There we go.
Underhive, Listen to Lorekeepers.
Yep.
It's going to be me, and you can audition for be a co-host.
Good luck to you.
Yeah.
I enjoy your one-man podcast.
Yes. So, let's have a look. We
Okay.
have Toe and Ashwaste Arachnoids.
Mm-hmm.
We have Craig with Blooded. Christian with Novitiates. Now, Pep, Jade Obelisk, or Krieg. I gotta say Krieg, man. You chuck on some Orlok heads and some mining gear, like blasting, some of the GC, they call it blasting charges and that sort of stuff. They are gonna look so sick.
Yeah. Death Corpse. Yep.
Okay, so let's say Krieg. Simon obviously won his Blooded. Catherine, we said the Wild Runners purely because of those beasties. And David Kazakin. So let's remove Simon from that one there.
Yep. Got to pick one out of this 6. Oh. Let me have a look at my choices again. So there was the Metro Moles.
Oh,
There
they were just so
was
good.
Little
They
White, the
gave
chemist-
such a sick view on
Yeah.
the Orlocks.
Yeah.
Oh,
Just a view on Necromunda that you don't normally see. That's what I love
Yeah.
about that. Catherine's, it's like Sally and Polly and Little White. They're already 3 characters that are embedded in me. You know what I mean? Like I want to know more about them. I want to see what their story is.
yes, and the fact that she had the little white miniature
Yeah.
already,
Yeah.
where that she's done out of Lady Credo.
Yeah.
Oh, it just looking at it and then listening to you read the story, I can see the character.
Yeah.
So it makes
And then there's, for my 3, the last one was Genghis.
Horatio.
Captain Horatio, with his gardener Ogren, and just his band of, very, very scrupulous PDF, just going around just causing grief, thinking they're king dinglings because they got a modicum of imperial sanction attached to them.
Yeah. Well, then I've got the Thelonious Fraterus.
Oh, mate.
Yeah,
I'm in love with
just
them.
Religious crazies.
Religious
just
crazies. They
every time.
knew I was the target for that audience.
Yeah. Then you had Dr. Toe and the Glowworms of Freehold.
That's right. Yes.
Who
The glowworms.
And Stavros and Pockets.
Pockets.
Oh, my dude.
Pockets, whose actual name is Stavros, but gets, they're just like, this is confusing. Because you always steal stuff, you're just known as Pockets from now on.
And Stavros would have been laughing because it's actually Stavros stealing things and putting them in pockets.
Yeah, exactly. Hold this for me. Yeah.
And then you have the Cartel Gang, the Black
mate. Yes.
Oh.
Where they're their own operation. They're their own, deadly killing force. Yeah. All right.
I'm not doing this.
You pick one.
No, I'm not doing this.
How about we pick one from each of us? Yes?
Okay,
No?
so we're going to pick 2 out of the 6.
2 out of the 6, yeah.
Ooh.
Let's put it to a listener vote. No, I don't know. That's me just trying to avoid the responsibility of picking just one of the 3 that I read.
Just don't pick.
Awkward silence.
Just don't pick. Just
don't pick. Nobody gets a prize.
Thanks for participating. I was going to say, do we have a 6-sided coin? We have a dice.
Oh. Yeah, let's leave it up to fate. Roll that.
Yeah. What one did you like best? Dice picked for me.
Yeah. Okay. I have a Maddie idea then.
I can get a dice. Hold on.
Yeah, roll your dice. Remember when you rolled last time and the caryatid proved to be good?
That's right. And was it? Then someone yelled at me and was like, "Oh, it's not part of your game."
The caryatid's part of all of our gangs. Okay, we can't find a dice because we are the best at being wargamers. But I have a great idea for you then. The best idea I've probably ever come up with. We already know what
this podcast.
Yeah. Well, yes, okay. We already know what we'd award each person, yeah? So let's just give everybody a prize. Let's just go for it. What are you laughing about? This is happy birthday to us and to everybody. Well, these 7 people.
Yeah, screw it. Done.
Yeah.
Okay, done. So, Toe, Dr. Toe, for your glowworms, you are getting Ash Waste Arachnor Eggs.
Yep.
Craig, for your Black Moon Cartel gang, you're getting the Blooded. Christian is getting... Oh, yeah, for the Thelonious Froteris, you are getting... This is Sisters of Sigma. Sisters Adeptus Sororitas Novitiates.
Yeah.
Pep, you are getting Krieg for your Metro Moles. Catherine is getting Wild Runners for... What was her gang called? I don't actually think it was in that there. It's got Deathcap Sally, the Chemist Queen. I don't know.
Well,
I am going to call them the Chemist Queens. You are going to get the Wild Runners for the Chemist Queens, and David, you are getting Kazakin for your Lord Horatio's private battalion. And then Simon is getting Blooded.
the blood? Yeah.
For his, it's not Secundian,
Sectarian.
Sectarian and Forces.
Yeah, Sectarian Forces. Yeah.
That's great. Wait a minute, you yelled at me for just giving stuff away.
Yeah, but happy birthday to you. Happy
birthday to you. Yeah, no, screw it. All right, done.
Everybody gets a prize.
Everyone gets a prize.
Yeah.
We can do this again in 3 months. I love that. Wow, that was great.
I genuinely have loved doing this episode. This feels like a car ride from work to home, speaking to Sam, just discussing stuff and going, what about this and what about this idea and so forth. It's brilliant. Loved it. Thank you. I thank everybody who submitted some lore, and I particularly thank the 7 bits of lore, the 7 people who we got to read out your bits of lore. It was very engaging and just, very inspiring.
Yeah. It's ridiculous that we have been able to just sort of reach out and say, hey, send us this stuff, and if we can, we're going to read it. And every single one of them was awesome.
Yeah.
Every single one of them has just blown me away. Like,
yeah, there's just so much effort and thought and enthusiasm being put into people's gangs out there. And Necromunda is a game that really respects your lore. You may not see it happen on the tabletop. You may not, see it happen throughout a campaign. But when you've got your 8 to 15 models sitting up in front of you and you're just adding on a tiny little pouch or a holstered pistol that they're never going to use or some sort of icon that they picked up in their travels, that means everything to you. And that's where I think the lore is so important for us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And I just genuinely can't believe we lasted a full year. Like, we always joke, well, I can. I think even if no one was listening, I think we probably still would have done it because...
I think so too. Yeah, I think we even said that
it's just fun.
Way back in the day. Like, it was, for me, I remember early on, I would talk about my lack of knowledge about Necromunda, and that's certainly gone.
No, you still don't know anything.
Thanks, buddy. Always there to build the confidence up. But
it's another question of...
Yeah, it is. Most certainly is. But it's something that I'm so happy I did because it's just got me more hooked into this game than even from where I was. Like, I thought, yep, I'm hooked into Necromunda. And then I started reading the lore and getting more and more... Well, not just starting reading it, but getting more in depth with it and having, more, I guess, of an understanding. And I'm just, hook, line and sinker.
Oh, hold on. I found a dice.
Oh, okay, go.
Cancel that. Hold on. All right, Pet, you're getting Krieg. Everyone else, you're getting nothing.
That's not happening. Everybody else gets a prize. Ignore that.
But no, yes. Like, it's... Whether we're getting 1,000 listens a week or 100 listens a week or 10 listens a week, or it's just the two of us listening each week, like, yeah, we're definitely still going to be doing this, and I think I just love the interaction, the community, everyone we speak to. I think this is the part where we do the soppy stuff. We give out a bunch of thank yous.
We do.
So, like, firstly, I'd love to thank, the people we've had on the show. Our first couple of episodes, Andy, Cam, we had Steve, Simon from Second Best Guides. We plan on doing a bunch of our sort of Make Hater Populi episodes in this upcoming year. So we've got a couple of different people from different places we want to have on the show and talk to them. You feel free to jump in there.
Oh, yeah, no.
Or am I just doing all the thank yous?
No, you're doing quite well. I just, you're finally standing on your own 2 feet after a year of recording, so it's good to see. No, I will actually pass on a thank you to you because
cute.
I retract that. No, it is a big thank you to Sam because Sam was the person who came up to me and was like, do you want to do a podcast? Do you want to do a podcast? Yeah, like I was trying to do it.
Do you want to yell at nerds? Do you want to make the internet hate you when you make up words? But no, like, and it goes right back at you. Like, I genuinely couldn't have done this without you. Like, I go on these tangents and I sort of explode on things, and people don't see it because they can't see us because podcasting is an audible medium.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's just Nathan staring at me, shaking his head, being like, "Stop, stop, reel it in, buddy.
Yeah,
reel it in."
Rerail the derail. But I will, again, reiterate the thank yous to Andy, Cam, Steve, and Simon. They've all added a great amount of value to our podcast. We thank you all for that. And most importantly, thank our audience. You guys, as I said earlier in the show, the interactions, no matter how minor they might seem for you, just means so much to us. Every time I read a line of like, love the show or love what you guys do, my ego just gets that little bit bigger. But it just means that what we have decided to do there, the 120 odd hours of recording time that we poured into this is actually meaning something to people. And that's a big thing for us too.
And I have to do a shout out for Chris and Steve from Some City Radio. When I first started talking about this with Nathan, I remember reaching out to Steve and just sort of saying, hey man, how do I do this? And he guided me, he gave me this information and just sort of basically just told me to have fun with it. All these different podcasts I listen to, the guys I interact with on a weekly basis, Necro Macho, the Gildersford Radio, I would speak to you guys because I know I'm definitely stirring my own sort of idea here, but I've promised to do an episode on the lore of Gildersford, and I'm really looking forward to that.
Okay.
Because I am putting so many people named Timmy into their setting that they've been building over the last 20 years. But yeah, so Roscoe and Dixie have sort of both given me permission to do that, and I'm pretty excited. But yeah, and on top of that, something that Nathan's always, making sure we throw in there, we want to say thank you to each and every one of our Patreons. And, they're able to sort of help us get equipment and sort of make it a little bit easier, a little bit better for doing that. And so I would like to thank, in alphabetical / numerical,
Just
in an order.
In an order, yep.
The 108th, 3 ogres in a trench coat. Adam, other Adam, Alex, Amelia, Brum, Chris, Kieran, Cygnus Maximus, Damien, Dr. Toe, most badass dentist in the Underhive, Genghis, Harry Bob the Submariner, Matt from Hive Market Minis, Hive Scum Wonka, Jesse the Dirt Grub, Jim Bob, John Basley, The Last Dog, Luke Broad, Luke the Goliath, The Morbid Progeny, Net Surfer 733, Tom the One Punch Orlock, Overlord Bleak, Pani, Paul, Pylon, Sean, Shimon, Tim, Tide Ape, Trent, William, and the Underhive Dad. Each and every one of you, thank you. You guys especially, but all of our audience, you make this all possible. And side note, Billy, the Underhive Dad, and Matt from Hive Market Minis, and Trent, our Caryatid Club members, this year we will be reaching out to each of you and ensuring that we do a custom episode for you guys, because you are obviously our Caryatid Club members. I am terrified because Matt from Hive Market Minis has made several jokes about doing an episode on the Imperial Fists.
Oh, great.
Boom. And I love him, but if he makes me do that, I'm going to quit. I'll do the episode and I'll do it good, but I will be upset.
So will I.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's sort of my touchy-feely stuff, except Nath, mate, this last year, I definitely couldn't have done it without you. It has been a wild ride.
It most certainly has been.
It has been weird.
It has. There's been a lot of times where both of us are just drained and tapped out, and we're like, no, persevere on. There's been other times where we've walked away from a recording and just been like, that was just deep fried gold. Like we are the super podcasters, and then you have other recordings where you're just like, oh, we missed this and we missed that, and so it is a very big adventure. If there's anybody out there also who wants to do a podcast, all I can say is go for it.
Just do it.
Yeah, that's what happened with me and Sam. It was just, let's just do it. Let's, bare bones and hook in, and we were able to achieve what we think is, quite a successful podcast, but also something that I think you highlighted earlier, Sam, is do something that we love as well. Like we genuinely love doing this. We genuinely love talking about it. When we're not recording, we're still talking about Necromunda. It's not something that is just simply put on the back burner. Every time something new comes out from Warhammer community, we're like, oh, have you seen it? Have you seen what's going on? And, we get to ogle the miniatures and think about what that's going to be. And, hopefully we'll get Hive Secundus information soon and we can do a big episode on that.
Oh, man, I'm so ready.
Speaking of episodes, do you have a favourite episode?
Yes. And it is... I really liked our Orlok episode.
Did you really?
Wow. I really liked it.
It was a good episode. It was a very good episode.
I was really looking forward to the quarter episode we started recording. Like 3.5 hours ago. Let me have a quick look at them. Sometimes forget what we've done. The Goliaths was great. The April Fool's episode was probably one of the funniest things that anyone's ever done. I got a message from someone about that today. It's literally saying, an hour and 20 minutes of silence. You're a dick.
Did you let them know they're welcome? You are welcome. We do this.
Oh no, this is someone that we both know in real life.
Oh,
sorry, really? And an hour 20 of nothing. That's all he sent to me. This is something we both know in real life. This is Ash.
Oh,
he messaged me today.
Couldn't have happened to a better person. Love it.
Yeah,
it's a
Love
gift.
you, bud.
It's a gift that keeps giving.
But yeah, no, you know what? I'm actually gonna say the Goliath episode.
Are you for real?
I learned a lot in the Goliath episode.
I have two favourites. I cheated. I have episode 6, which was our Hive Life Part 1. It's still right up there as one of my favourites that we ever recorded. And the Goliath episode. I've never been a big fan of Goliath, but listening back to that episode, as I've mentioned multiple times, we do listen back to our own episodes. They are the true sons and daughters of Necromunda. And if you love the game system, there needs to be just, even if it's the smallest sliver of your heart, needs to be given over to House Goliath, because they are the true element of Necromunda. And I learnt that in recording that episode. A lot of the stuff we do is on the fly. So we have dawning moments. We have moments where we're just like, oh wait, it's the fog's clearing. I'm seeing exactly what it was, or what it should be, or what we think it is. And that's what happened with House Goliath with me. And also definitely House Orlok, but more of a evilest gang ever to exist.
What's your favourite moment from the entire podcast? Because mine is very, very good.
Favourite moment? Do you know, just because I got some sort of applaud for it, the porpoise joke was pretty good.
It was pretty good.
No, I will have to say, my favourite moment is probably from a gang idea, and it was, talking about the Goliath from Gothrel's Needle.
Gothrel's Needle, the Titan Works.
Yes, yeah.
They are sick.
And there's a reason for that. It wasn't because it's necessarily the gang. It was the first time that I'd really taken to hold about coming up with something that was really off kilter, really like, even though it had sort of been given to us in the reading, it was something that showed me where the show needs to go, in that we take a small snippet of information and we blow it up, and we just allow our imaginations to run wild. It was probably a dawning moment for me where I went, oh, we can just go like absolutely crazy here.
Let's get weird.
Let's get let's get Horatio Valentino on board, that kind of stuff. But anyway, I want to know your favourite moments.
The Aranthian succession was caused by
That still makes me laugh.
like genuinely just some Queenslander with a liter of Bundy and Coke has fired a potato at some poor Games Workshop games designer and has created everything. Everything.
Every Spire suit that you see now, every addition that's going to be coming along with House Secundus is all because of a potato gun in
It's the
Queensland.
fallout from a very severe concussion.
Perfect.
No, that's honestly, I think that was the moment that broke me the most. And a couple of people have messaged just being like, that was horrific that they were laughing along with us. It's like, that's the best. You know what? Yeah, that's the best sort of stuff about doing this, when people are saying to us, like, that they sort of talk along with us, or they ask questions, they answer questions that we ask, because they're saying they're listening to two of their mates talk about Necromunda.
Yeah, and I love that people are like able to incorporate our show into their day-to-day, and in a way that it doesn't feel like it's crowbarred into their life, but something that they feel like they can interact with. And who knows, in the future we might end up doing something live. Who knows? We'll see.
Oh, that'd be fun.
I reckon it would be loads of fun.
24-hour episode for the Imperial Fists. Boo.
Boo. You'll get to see all the bits we don't edit, that we do edit out.
It's just boo.
And that's actually our quote for the show.
We're not going to do a quote for this, because this isn't sort of our episode. This is thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's how I want to end this. It's been a hell of a year, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what we can all do together for the next one.
Perfect.
Bye, Scummers.